each of the last 5 games, tailback Adam Muhammad back deep. UCLA won the toss. They deferred, so the Huskies will have it first. And Washington will begin on the 25. This day started with only one quarterback in the Big Ten averaging over 300 yards of total offense, and it's that man right there, sophomore Damon Williams.
He's so talented. He's a true triple threat, and today that will be the biggest task for this UCLA defense, Paul. How can they slow him down? You will see controlled rushes. You will see them at times bring a 5th defender, but overall they need to eliminate some of the big plays with his legs.
Talked about the 2 most dynamic quarterbacks in the Big Ten. The stats back it up. Damon Williams, #1 in the Big Ten in rushing yards for quarterbacks. Nico Iamaleava, he is 2nd. So we will see Jonah Coleman, but Muhammad gets the start. A little flip out, and UCLA was ready for that one. Audric Harris with the catch for a short gain. So we talked about Damon Williams. Yogi, what's he got around him tonight?
Well, at receiver, you'll see Audric Harris. He made that first catch. He's making his first start due to some injuries at wide receiver. Omari Evans, he's the big play guy down the field, but they need to run the football, and a big part of that, of course, is this offensive line. John Mills, he's a true freshman at right tackle. He was 17 midseason, turned 18. He's got next level ability. They're going to have to lean on him, playing the right side and anchor on the right side of this O-line.
Jordan Washington in at tailback the first time. Williams flips it back, and that was a good call. Washington's first down. Decker DeGraff back to the Los Angeles area. He calls home. Big gain of 19.
Yeah, really nice job by DeGraff. He's so patient as a tight end at this position. He understands the play action. It's really impressive. You'll see him here as the play unfolds. Wait, give it a beat, give it a beat. Play action, come out the back door. Damon Williams puts the brakes on. Perfect location. And I got a feeling about 100 family members and friends are here giving him a little bit of an ovation right now.
From San Dimas, California, in the Valley, about an hour away from here. He had a career-high 91 yards receiving last week, and a good start here tonight. Adam Muhammad, the sophomore, made his first start last week. Bruin defense ready for that one, keeps that to a gain of 1. Thinking about that UCLA defense, Yogi, here's how they'll look tonight.
Yeah, and they need to get some penetration up front. It really starts with Gary Smith III. He's the veteran. He's a guy they need to make sure he finds his way into the backfield. And John Vaughns, he's the 6th-year senior, was a baseball player, football player, linebacker. He's got to make plays into the back end. It's the green dot. Cole Martin, his father, Demetrius, is on the staff coaching the secondary at UCLA. He at one time coached the secondary at Washington as well. So there's a lot of dynamics within this one.
Muhammad once again met just as he got across the line of scrimmage. 2 consecutive carries for the former Arizona Wildcat. He picks up 3 to bring up the first 3rd down of the night. Keanu Williams made the stop.
Yeah, and this 3rd down for UCLA, they call it their NASCAR packages. You hear this a lot on Saturdays in college football. The fastest players for the Bruins are on the field. They want to make sure that Damon Williams does not beat him with his legs. UW is tremendous. 3rd in the country on 3rd down. Keep an eye on how they spy and bring pressure with him and these linebackers.
And it's been a big problem for UCLA, last in the nation in 3rd down defense. Williams blitz up the middle, plenty of time. Sends it down the sideline. Too much for Audric Harris. And a rare 3rd down stop here for the Bruins.
You can't help wonder, if that was Denzel Boston, would he make a play down the field due to these injuries? You'll see these receivers right here, a little combination route, and then you're just going to try to win with speed on the outside. Damon Williams goes for the home run instead of the 1st down. Aggressive play call, incomplete, and a big-time stop for this UCLA defense.
Well, the Husky offense had it rolling as the game got longer last week. Stopped on their first drive. Punt is away. Mikey Matthews lets that one bounce. And eventually rolls down just inside the 17-yard line. And now we get our first look at Nico Iamaleava. Missed last week's game because of a concussion. He told me on practice on Thursday. Really knew Tuesday of this week that it was trending in the right direction. Had a good feeling that I'd get the green light to play, and that came midweek.
Yeah, and this guy is the heartbeat of this team, Paul. Make no mistake about it. I think he's the most misunderstood quarterback in the country. When things went haywire and they made changes on the staff, he's the one among the players in the locker room that galvanized them. They came out and got that huge win against Penn State, and during these hard times, he's the one galvanizing them as well.
Anthony Woods is the tailback to his right. And he has it off the left side. It's actually Jalen Berger with the carry. He picks up 3. Well, let's take a look at the Bruin offense and what they put around Nico tonight.
Well, they're going to have to make some plays downfield. It starts with a run game. That'll open up everything else. Can they find Quasi Gilmer on the outside, some plays down the field? Jerry Neuheisel, the offensive coordinator, knows they need to create some chunk plays, especially early on. On the offensive line, we'll see some rotation on the left tackle position as this game unfolds.
Iamaleava rolls out. First completion, Mikey Matthews, not much. Drilled right when he caught that pass. And Rashawn Clark met him. And brings up 3rd down for Jerry Neuheisel. And this Bruin offense, Neuheisel, former Bruin quarterback, 8th season on this staff. 7th game calling plays, though. Took over that duty shortly after the season started. Told us yesterday the last 6 weeks have been the most fun I've had in my football life.
A lot more fun if they can convert a couple early 3rd downs.
First one he's facing is 3rd down and 6. Iamaleava steps up, keeps it himself, and there he goes. UCLA's top rusher and top playmaker moves the sticks, picks up 26.
Yeah, we'll just follow your top offensive lineman and Garrett DiGiorgio, and this is exactly what Nico Iamaleava does. Watch him. He goes to his first read. Is it there? Nope. All right, I'm going to utilize my legs. Climbs in between the guard and the tackle, and he knows if he can run in between the tackles, look out. And Washington knows that too. So they'll start to spy him as the 3rd downs continue to unfold in this ball game.
Averages double-digit running attempts per game, so get used to that. Wants to throw. Good pocket. Dumps it over the middle. Complete out to midfield. Gain of 4 there on 1st down. Bruin defense has been better than it was last year, and here's how they'll line up.
Well, look, they've only allowed 25 points all season in all of their game. I mean, they've done a really nice job defensively. Zach Durfee at the edge. He's the most impressive guy. He's got to have an impact. But inside at linebacker, Jake Amano, he makes his start tonight, and this is a big deal. He was planning on only playing 4 games. Everybody thought that 4th game would be next week against the Oregon Ducks in that rivalry. He's coming on back home to Southern California. Played at Servite High School in Orange County, starting tonight.
Iamaleava swings it out of the backfield. Woods has another 1st down. He was an all-conference running back in Idaho, getting his feet wet at UCLA this year. That got him 12.
This is an offense that has scored 20 points in the first quarter all season long. I mean, how many times do you hear from Tim Skipper, start fast, start fast? Well, checking the ball down, taking the easy completion is exactly the recipe for winning and moving the ball early on in this ball game. Nice job there from Iamaleava, just taking what the defense gives him. Live for another set of downs.
You said they scored 20 points in the first quarter. Half of those points came against Penn State. Woods this time in the run game, not a lot there. He picks up 1. Stop made by Zach Durfee. They are excited he's finally healthy for that Husky defense.
You know, tonight for UCLA, you're going to see something you haven't seen in a while, which is Nico Iamaleava under center. You'll see a little bit of that as this game continues to unfold, because he's going to open up the play action game and get him on the edges with his legs. Here on a 2nd down, this is an opportunity to do that from the left hash for Jerry Neuheisel, the offensive coordinator. Get Iamaleava on the run, going to his right.
Set the play clock to 25 seconds. Both clocks will start on my signal.
You're thinking about Iamaleava running and Jerry Neuheisel calling plays. He told us yesterday, you know, sometimes our best play is when he runs on the called pass. So he tries to build in what he calls the escape hatch and give him that freedom to go when he sees it's right to do so. Empty backfield. Over the middle. Completes, short of a 1st down. Jack Peterson, the tight end, his first touch gets him 5.
Paul, this is a really nice job. I mean, it's not a big chunk play overall for Nico Iamaleava. Look at these 2 linebackers at the line of scrimmage. He's got to decide, are they coming? Are they spying? Are they dropping into coverage? They drop into coverage. He says, okay, no problem. Again, first read, ball out, live for now 3rd and manageable. And potential 4-down territory here where we sit inside the 35.
Jerry Neuheisel tells him you're the facilitator. You're Steve Nash out there. And there we see him under center like you talked about. Play action. Dumps it down. And a good tackle made there. The big corner of Fijian's Prysock brings down Jalen Berger for no gain.
Yeah, he's in all everything corner, all 6'4" of him. He's really improved in his tackling. He'll be playing the short side of the field tonight. Getting the start on the other side is a true freshman, Dylan Robinson. It looks like they're going to go for it here. I'd pick on the freshman corner if I was UCLA right now to the wide side of the field. Run some sort of combination around, see if Titus Mokiai, Tamalala, Mikey Matthews and company can find something around the edge.
4th and 4, aggressive right away for the Bruins. Berger is the tailback. Iamaleava looking, firing, incomplete. Knocked away by McKellisteen, and the Husky defense holds. First incompletion for Iamaleava comes on 4th down. And he'll give the ball back to the Huskies. Good looking drive for UCLA. Both teams have had the ball once. No score in Pasadena. If you're really feeling the magic on the field right now, hold on to your hats. Wicked is about to reach its epic conclusion. Wicked for Good is rated PG and is in theaters now. We're inside the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Just getting started here with Washington and UCLA. Gorgeous night here in Southern California. Both teams have had the ball once. UCLA just moved it well but failed on 4th down. So Damon Williams and the Huskies back on the field. Adam Muhammad, little hesitation and a sweet cut. Gets him out past the 45 and a 1st down.
Let's have some fun with the run game, Paul. I know you love the run game. Okay, this is the idea. 45-degree angle. You're working at that outside leg of your left tackle. Watch Adam Muhammad here. He's working that way, and then boom, he puts his foot in the ground, stays patient, nothing to cut back to. Okay, I'll stay on my path, make a guy miss. We got a 1st down.
Oh, he had to like the last couple of weeks. What a cut right there. 29 attempts the last 2 games. Easily the busiest 2-game bundle he has had in his career, as Jonah Coleman has been nursing a bad knee. Come right back to the other side, cuts it back, and another good gain. How about that power finish out to the 45, gets him 9. JoJo Vaughns with the stop.
It's so hard to defend Damon Williams because you know he can utilize his legs in the run game. So you're trying to give him one look. That's what UCLA is doing. You'll see them at every single snap. They've rotated their safeties. So they'll start with 2 safeties. On the snap, they'll rotate, trying to give him just a different picture because Damon Williams is often, you see him tap his helmet, often has multiple plays he can roll with at the line of scrimmage.
3 consecutive plays. The cutback didn't get there. He slipped. Didn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down and short. Gary Smith with the stop. But already a much better day for Adam Muhammad than last year against UCLA. Yogi had 2 touches for -2 yards.
Well, trying to get comfortable with this offensive line. I think this is 4-down territory here on this 3rd down. Some sort of design run with Damon Williams is where UW has gone to the well, out of the gun, get a lead blocker with your running back, and you got 2 tight ends in the ball game.
3rd down, little more than a yard. Muhammad remains the running back. Up the middle, drilled in the backfield, but a quality finish got him close to the mark. Williams hit him before he got to the mark. And boy, did he finish strong.
Sure did. Watch 99 right there. Big Keanu Williams, to your point. Nice little swim move, but then the strength. I mean, just the finish. And look, this is a proud Bruins team. They know it's senior day. They know it's the final time this season they'll play here. Who knows, maybe the final time ever they'll play here. They're going to leave it on the grass. And UW as well. They know it's at stake, a potential 10-win season. They want to get this win down here at this incredible stadium and venue.
Let's see if they got this 1st down. Jed Fish taking a peek. Ooh! And that is not quite. Oh, they're actually going to give it to him.
Yeah, just by a little bit. And this is shot time now for Jed Fish. Don't be surprised if you see some sort of deep shot.
Okay, I think they just wanted us to have a chance to welcome in Reggie Smith, our rules analyst, to the broadcast. So, Reggie, you can watch this along with us. Good evening. Nice to have you back. What do you see here?
I'm seeing it would appear to be a very good spot by the officials on the field as the ball carrier lunged. It appeared that he made it. You just got to remember, the tip of the ball has to make the 44-yard line. That is the line to gain in this case. In any case, I don't believe video will show that he is short. This should be upheld as a first down.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought he did a really nice job of keeping his knees off the ground. Like, that was a perfect shot of it as he's diving. You're following. It's where the ball lands, to Reggie's point. Watch the lower body of Muhammad on this run. First glance, you're thinking maybe a knee hit, but they stay up. He lunges forward. And I think when his elbow hits the ball, it's not enough to alter what was already decided on the field.
Listed at 220, running like a 240 back with that finish right there. Initially committed to and signed with Arizona and quickly followed Jedd Fisch to Seattle. And most of the season has been the compliment to Jonah Coleman, but with Coleman out with the knee injury, has been enjoying most of the carries in the Husky backfield.
Yeah, and look, for Jedd Fisch, his background is, might as well just call it the NFC West. It is NFL, pro style, mirror your run and pass game. He wants to run the football. That's where this thing begins, and that's where, for him, he can dictate terms, and this entire offense can flow.
After review, the ruling on the field of first down is upheld.
Okay, that's referee Jason Nickleby. New set of downs here for Washington. And back to what you said about the Husky offense. We were told during the week in our meetings that the pass game is Sean McVay and the Rams, and the run game is Shanahan and the 49ers.
Yeah, and it's sprinkled in with Jedd Fisch. I mean, he's been at so many places. He's been impacted by so many coaches. And it's really amazing because a lot of times you see that and they try to be that individual. Jedd Fisch is not. He's himself. He's got his own identity. We've seen that at Arizona, now up in Seattle.
Williams bouncing, still looking. Well, he's got some room out here. And tucks it out of bounds just as he got past the 45.
Paul, chance for big time explosive play down the sideline. Miss there for Washington. Take a look right here. This is against that corner making his first start, Robert Stafford III, and there's a shot with the speedster, Amari Evans. You'll see it right off the bat, beats him. Ball's got to be out, safety's going the other way. He's waiting for it, then all of a sudden nothing there. That's going to be one. Demond Williams will want to head back.
First down line brought to you by T-Mobile. Second down and 9. Muhammad still the tailback. Williams under center on the move. Lets it go. And inside the 40-yard line. Adam Muhammad continues his active night. Nickelback Scooter Jackson with the stop.
You know, Paul, you know this because you played the position. It's so hard to just be boring as a quarterback. Just get on the edge, check it down your back, check it down your tight end. Just keep living for another down, because here again it's third down, but this is 4-down territory. And here comes that NASCAR speed package for UCLA. So all eyes will be on number 2, Demond Williams.
Again, Washington's been excellent on third down. UCLA last in the country, but the Bruins won the first battle here. Drilled in the backfield, and again, UCLA stands up on third down. Loss of 4.
I don't know if this takes them out of 4-down territory just based on field position. But I'll tell you what, the middle of this defense right here, that's what got this thing done. It's that speed package. They bring their fastest players. They slant to the defense's right. And in the backfield, that's number 92, Taupaki, making a play in his 7th year playing college football.
Well, we just saw on the other side UCLA go for it on 4th and medium. Washington showing they'll go for it too.
Some sort of crossing route here, some sort of mesh.
Play clock an issue. They're not going to snap it.
Delay game. Offense. Number 2. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And no intention to snap that ball there, Yo.
I understand the field position game. I think for Jedd Fisch, if you just go back to this team's reality, they've struggled on the road. They've struggled on the road. That's just the facts of this team. So, okay, let's not just give Nico Imaliava after that previous drive. Great field position. Let's see if we can pin him back, make him earn it.
Dunn gets it away. Mikey Matthews lets it bounce, and into the end zone it goes. It's been all about the defense so far. Late in the first quarter, scoreless in Pasadena. Big Ten Saturday Night is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. By Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. And by Progressive. Supporting you every step of the way. Progressive.com. Love the old programs, especially when two teams have such history like this through so many conference changes. UCLA and Washington through the years. I was a big program guy. Always got one at the game I went to. My dad got it for me. I've still got them in the basement. Series history here. 78th time they've met. UCLA with a little bit of an edge here. Nobody has an edge yet. Scoreless. Iamaleava. Mikey Matthews. Fancy footwork. Lost the ball. Washington recovers at the 20. Had the ball knocked out, and Dylan Robinson has it.
Finally get the ball on the perimeter. Matthews, you see him right there, number 7. He's going to grab the ball. Just a simple little bubble screen. He gets it. And this UW defense flying to the football. He doesn't even try to change his hands. Just gets punched out right there. Nice job on the defense. Gang tackling.
Andre Jordan knocked it out.
Jacob Lane, I think, was the defensive end. He got his first mid on it. And then the freshman picked it up in Robinson.
You say freshman, that gets said a lot about this version of the Huskies.
Yeah, it's a young team. Jedd Fisch believes in development, in recruiting, and in retention. Not just majoring in the portal. We're seeing a lot of freshmen on the field tonight.
And a lot of DeMond Williams under center here. Play action on the move. Under pressure, dumps it out inside the 20. Second catch for the tight end, Decker DeGraff. Short gain of 2. Okay, thinking about the young Washington Huskies, let's focus on the offense. And you pick a position. Quarterback, running back, okay, pass catchers, tight end, linemen. So many first or second year players here.
I'll focus on the linemen, because that's how you win in this league. They know that. They've had to play so many different offensive line groups this season. 4 different times they've had a variety of offensive line starters.
Williams through the air, 4 out of 5 so far. Looking for a 5th completion. Too low, incomplete. Wanted is, you guessed it, freshman Desmond Roebuck, and he said, that's me. And by the way, that's the last 2 State of Arizona Players of the Year in high school. 2 years ago was DeMond Williams, and last year, Desmond Roebuck.
Yeah, Jedd Fisch found a way to find some inroads when he was the head coach of the Wildcats. I don't think this is 4-down territory here. I think this is an opportunity to find only a first down. I think they take 3. Keep an eye on the tight end, Decker DeGraff, at the top of the screen.
They've only converted 1 out of 3 times today on 3rd down. Williams, late blitz, sideline shot, incomplete. Audric Harris had a shot at it, 4th down.
Can't help but wonder, right? How many times did Denzel Boston make those plays? You can flash back and you see it in many games. Doesn't happen here. Watch the little switch release, the right thing to do against man-to-man coverage. And how about the recovery right there? Really impressive job from Jackson. Late hands, ball a little bit overthrown, touches the fingertips of Harris, playing now no longer a redshirt opportunity, his 5th game.
Grady Gross has struggled from this distance here this season, only 2 out of 4 in the 30s, and this from 36 yards out. No problems right down the middle, and there's your first points of the night. Recovered fumble for Washington turns into the Grady Gross field goal, and the Huskies lead by 3.
It's time for a Papa John's game break. John Fanta checking in. Georgia Tech into the ACC championship game with a win. Jakirian Turner has other ideas. He scampers in. Pitt beats Georgia Tech. We will enter the final week of ACC play, Paul and Yogi, with no certainties.
All right, 42-28. Good sprint there up the middle. We're here in Pasadena. Points on the board now. Washington up 3-0. Cole Martin back deep. And the Bruins will begin on the 25-yard line. Nico Iamaleava didn't play last week against Ohio State. Back under center here tonight. Take a look at what he's done. 6 out of 7, but only 21 yards with those 6 completions.
Yeah, done a nice job at times with his legs. I think to get back to putting him on the edge, a couple design runs early on to get this offense going. Remember, he's the leading passer, but also the leading rusher. Everything goes through him.
And the one time he kept the ball tonight, Yogi, it was great news for the Bruins. 26 yards, their biggest gain yet. But that's his only carry.
Yeah, not a design run, on a scramble after going through his progression.
1st and 10, late first quarter. Up the middle, couple of cuts for Anthony Woods. Picks up a handful there. Time to take a look at the big shots brought to you by Nissan.
And today, this is the big matchup. Quasi Gilmer and these wide receivers, can they make plays down the field? In the top corner for Washington, one of the top corners in the Big Ten is Ephesians Prysock. This matchup we'll see at times tonight, and the Bruins need to just find explosive plays down the field, something they have lacked big time in the passing game this season.
2nd down, 7. Short completion, Flores out to the 30. And he gets 2 to bring up a 3rd down. And asked Tim Skipper this week, late in the week when we met with him, Yogi, what matchup do you feel best about? It could be either side of the ball. He said, I like my wide receivers against their defensive backs. That was their first catch by a wideout.
Yeah, well, they expect a lot of man-to-man coverage tonight, and we haven't seen a ton of it. You're going to see it here on this snap, but overall, you've seen a lot of zone pressures trying to disguise it.
Final seconds here of this first quarter. And we won't see another play. Empty backfield. Needs to get just past the 35 from the pocket. Looking, surveys, touch pass. Oh, it's dropped. Titus Mokiao Atimalala had it in his hands.
Well, I wonder, did Rashawn Clark tip it just a hair late? It looked like he might have from up here. Nico saw it the entire time. Perfect ball. Look at the revolutions on that. And last minute, nope, he didn't touch it. And usually sure-handed Mokiao Atimalala right off the face mask, and that would have been 6.
Oh, watch Nico's reaction. He knows it. UCLA will punt it away. Will Carroll standing on his own 15. And the freshman with an adventure there. Desmond Roebuck brings that one in. Time now for the Papa John's game break. Here's John Fanta.
Well, Paul and Yogi, let's go in the Big 12 to Nippert at night. BYU controls its own destiny to get to the Big 12 title game, but Brendan Sorsby finds Jeff Caldwell. Bearcats within 6 of the Cougars, just over 2 left.
John, thank you. Good one winding down there, and we hope a good one heating up here. We talked about the defense is doing well in the first quarter, and Damon Williams, after a modest first now, with a chance to change that here in the second.
Yeah, they've got to just go back to the ground game. It's a big part of it, and I would sprinkle in the QB run game. We have not seen one true quarterback design run from Washington.
And now another running back run and popping through there. Well done, Adam Muhammad, out across the 40-yard line. He picks up 5, and talking to offensive coordinator Jimmy Doherty yesterday, Yogi, you could tell how excited he was that against Purdue, the big win last week, he said it was awesome to have the running game led by the running backs, not just Damon Williams.
Yeah, they want to run the football. That's this outfit, and that gets everything going. And it just builds confidence, especially when you're rotating so many people in that regard. And for Jimmy Doherty, who spent time at UCLA with Chip Kelly and Jed Fish in earlier stints, now he's on the staff at Washington. He's really developed Damon Williams in terms of understanding what defenses are doing. You see him walk under center here.
Something he hadn't done much of until this season. Little play action. Deep setup. Floats it out. And that's a nice catch at the 47-yard line. Omari Evans, Mr. Big Play, gets 13.
Yeah, this is a beautiful job from DeMond Williams. See a little tempo here now for Washington. They're trying to get going here, but he'll sit, and he understands the integrity of the pocket on the play action. They're going to go a little tempo here, but a nice job of him climbing up, making a completion.
Sets up even deeper, lets one go. Harris is there. Missed him.
Second miss of the night. Big explosive play opportunity. Jetfish loves, they call it piggybacking in the offensive coordinator role. You get an explosive play, you get a positive play, try to go back to the well again. They do it here. They got a shot at a deep crossing route. He sets up over the tackle. He's got all the time in the world, and simply just misses. And that's Audric Harris, referenced earlier. Didn't know if he was going to redshirt, didn't know if he was going to play, opted to play. Missed there.
Right back, left side, a gash. And Muhammad with another good finish. Cole Martin, the safety, eventually made the stop. Gain of 10.
Yeah, this is an offensive line. I imagine they're going to keep going back to the well. Again, it's that outside zone scheme. The whole path of the running back is the outside leg of the tackle. You hit it as fast as you can. If you can cut back, the defense will dictate that here on a third down.
Operating with pace, third and short. Muhammad picks up the first. And the Husky offense clicking along on the sideline. Familiar side, Yogi. That's Jed Fish, the head coach, calling plays. He and Lincoln Riley, the only head coaches in the Big Ten who call plays on offense.
Yeah, I think it's easy to criticize that at times, but the more and more college football grows and you have a true front office and staffs balloon over 60 and there's so much involved, all the resources, I don't mind head coaches calling plays anymore. It looks more and more like the NFL seemingly every couple months in college football.
Well, you can tell from talking to him, he's got a real passion for it, a real enjoyment for doing the job. First and 10. Williams quickly completes Amari Evans, his second catch on this drive. Former Penn State Nittany Lion gets 7.
Yeah, going up against Kanye Clark. Hasn't played a ton this season. He's got a bigger role in this game. It's simple man-to-man coverage. Williams knows exactly where he's going. Immediately to the right. Ball out. Perfect location. Slant is every quarterback's favorite friend, especially when you cross the 50. You got a chance to break one.
Amari Evans averaging 20 yards per catch in his career at Happy Valley and Seattle. Muhammad, he's been busy tonight. Looks like he got just enough for a first. Linebacker Vaughn's senior, celebrating senior day, a true senior who spent his entire career here in Westwood. He picks up 3 right there.
Yeah, he's the heartbeat of this defense. I think all the linebackers that kind of come through this UCLA program. Carson Swessinger doing his thing on Sundays in the National Football League. And how about this man, number 88? You can't say enough about him. Remember the Michigan games, kind of scary, didn't know what went on. Got through that injury. Now he's such a big part of this offense. And he's got a chance to be a next level guy too, Paul. I mean, he's impressive at the line of scrimmage with his hand in the dirt.
Huskies have their best drive going so far. We're back after this.
With Discover, every fan earns cash back on their game day purchases. Discover, the official card of the Big Ten.
With Discover It, fans can earn cash back on their game day purchases. Early here in the second quarter, Washington field goal from Grady Gross after the defense created a fumble. Up by 3 and enjoying their best drive so far. The second quarter last week against Purdue is when they really turned it on. See if they get something started here. Jordan Washington, the tailback from Long Beach in the game. Fake to him. Here goes Williams sprinting inside the 10. Touchdown, Washington. We were wondering when he might turn it on. There's your answer.
Yeah, and watch as he just hesitates just a hair. He's going to put all these defenders in a big-time bind. It's really impressive. A little zone read, and then I'm just a better athlete than you. And he outruns his high school teammate, 21 Cole Martin, for 6. First designed run, first touchdown of the night.
Snuck in that right leg. He turned on the speed right there. He had negative rushing before that, and You knew that wouldn't last for too long.
They call him the point guard. He looked like a point guard, a little crossover.
Grady Gross has a field goal and now an extra point. And the Huskies have a 10-point lead. Well, Devon Williams was at top speed by the time he hit the line of scrimmage. And good luck catching him from there. Early second quarter, Washington 10-7. The NBA is on NBC and Peacock. Monday nights, it's Peacock NBA Monday. Cavs Raptors at 7 p.m. Eastern. Rockets Suns 9:30 Eastern. Tuesdays in prime time, it's Coast to Coast Tuesdays. Magic 76ers 8 p.m. Eastern and Clippers Lakers here in LA 11 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Devon Williams to the end zone, a touchdown sprint, first touchdown of the night, and that's how the Huskies are up 10-0. That drive, 8 plays, 65 yards, a little inside of 4 minutes off the clock. Easily Washington's best drive of the night, and we'll see how the Bruins choose to respond.
Oh, they need to here. Look at Devon Williams, Jet Fish. I'd imagine they'll keep going back to the well in that regard. And for Nico Iamaleava, and that's Jerry Neuheisel, the offensive coordinator, they've moved the ball at times. They just haven't found much in the passing game, Paul. You got to try to find something on the outside. I get it. Prysock is there. He's going to be the wide side of the field to the right of the offense. I'd work the short side a little bit, see if you can find an explosive play.
And he's 7 out of 9, Yogi, which looks good. Then you look closer, and he's only got 24 yards to speak for. Iamaleava, ball tipped. Tipped at the line of scrimmage by Deshaun Lynch. Got a paw on it. Brings up second down 10.
Really nice job by Lynch. Rico Flores is running wide open. Watch him right here. He's going to run this over route. It's the right idea. That's exactly where Iamaleava is going. But to your point, Lynch times it up. Have a little vertical. Knocks it down.
Defensive coordinator for the Huskies. You're looking at him right there. Ryan Walters, the last couple of seasons, head coach at Purdue. Back in the comfortable spot of defensive coordinator. Did that in Illinois for 3 years and Missouri before that. This time they go inside. Nice gash and a good kick out to the right. First down, UCLA. Tackle made by Alex McLaughlin, their top tackler, but Berger moves the chains.
Yeah, a big part of this defense for Ryan Walters is showing you one thing and then go to another. That's Alex McLaughlin. He's going to go to the middle safety, and this is the one time tonight so far UCLA's burned Washington when they've rocked and rolled those safeties for a first down.
Quick pass. Mikey Matthews lit up when he caught that pass. Ephesians Prysock.
We talked to him earlier in the week, coming back to Southern California. He's from this region. He grew up. He knows what the Rose Bowl is. And it seemed like he knew what this play was. Look at that job. Just locking out Quasi Gilmer. Almost a turnover. Such an impressive play for the 6'4" senior corner.
And such a veteran. 37 straight starts going back to his time at Arizona. Has just been a staple out wide for this defense the last 2 years.
He's following Gilmer.
Iamaleava dumps it out of the backfield. Out to the 45 to set up a manageable situation. Once again, it's Alex McLaughlin tackling Berger, gain of 7.
This is an opportunity right now for this defense. Jacob Manu's got to show up. He's the middle of this defense. He's kind of the heart of this defense, even though he's only played in 4 games. This will be his final game of this season. There he is, number 9, right in the middle there, the transfer from Arizona to rehab his knee. He had to make a decision, said he wanted to play in his hometown.
Feels like a big third down here at this point of the second quarter with Washington's offense turning it up. They need 4. They bring heat. There he goes. Ball came out. He fumbled. Deshaun Lynch thinks he has it. And he does.
Wow.
Washington football. Well done, Deshaun Lynch. Got a hand on it. There he knocks it out. And it's Huskies ball, already up 10. Under Jedd Fisch, there has been quite a difference home and on the road for these Huskies. We take a look in Seattle. It's been smooth sailing. They've lost only one time. Offense and defense have been strong. They get away from home, those waters get pretty choppy. They're just 2-9. Offense and defense about 2 touchdowns worse compared to when they play at home. Talked to Jedd Fisch about that during the week. He said, our guys play free at home. They let it rip. They get on the road. The anxiety's a little higher, and they end up pressing a little more.
Yeah, and that comes with the territory of being a young team. It also comes with the territory of long road trips. I mean, they're on Pacific time zone right now. It's much different than going to Kinnick or going to State College, places they've been over the last 2 seasons with him as the head coach.
Empty backfield now for Damon Williams. Last time he touched the ball, he sprinted for a touchdown. This time wants the pass. Sets up, sends it deep into the end zone. Contact and a flag. Audric Harris, the intended receiver. Andre Jordan, a little bit too tight of coverage.
Defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Deep post route, and you're thinking this is an opportunity for a big explosive play. So much air under it. George just couldn't slow himself down. Anytime there's contact there late, it's an easy call for the officials. Jedd Fisch, we talked about in the previous turnover, after sudden changes, aggressive offensive play callers are often taking a shot. They take one there.
Damon Williams happy to welcome Jonah Coleman into the backfield. Williams keeps it and sprints around the right side for a small gain. And so Jonah Coleman, 2 years at Arizona, 2 years at Washington. He has been their top back. Missed the last game with an injury and now playing for the first time tonight.
Yeah, he's such an impressive young man. Finalist for the Campbell Trophy. Leads the Big Ten in touchdowns. And just look at his GPA. That to me is the most impressive. He's a 3.93 GPA as a senior. Recruited Arizona under Jedd Fisch. Followed him to Washington. Good to see him out in the field. Hopefully near 100%.
He's approaching 3,000 rushing yards for his career. Quickly to the left, caught to the 30 and up to the 27-yard line. Gain of 2, and for more on Jonah Coleman, here's Caroline.
Well, he's playing with a brace on his left knee today. So far in the first half, he spent some time on the bike, but as he was on the sideline, he was staying involved the whole time, talking to the other running backs, and after that touchdown, spent a good amount of time with quarterback Damon Williams.
Caroline, thank you. Injury timeout here. There's an injured Husky down.
And that's Carver Willis, their starting left tackle. Banged up earlier this season.
Media timeout.
They'd send to Willis, and we'll take a break here in Pasadena.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl. Time now for a look from above, brought to you by Walmart. And it's this man, Damon Williams, playing from the pocket, not dropping too deep in the pocket. They're getting the ball out immediately on a quick slant, moving the sticks, and then it's a thing that you can't coach. You just got to recruit. It's sheer athleticism, showcasing that in a big way for the lone touchdown of the night.
25-yard touchdown run that ended the last drive, sets up to the left. Well-designed play and well executed to Amari Evans. He has 3 catches tonight.
How about that little play action, and how about the route? In, out, they call that a whip route, and then to understand where the sticks are, that's going to be the question.
As the runner was out of bounds short of the line to gain. It is 4th down.
Where the ball is and when he steps out is what they'll be evaluating. And it looks like it's short.
Yeah, it's 4th down, less than a yard. Whistles blow. They may take another look at this.
The ruling on the field was that the runner was out of bounds with the ball short of the line to gain. That ruling is under further review.
Okay, gives us reason to bring back in Reggie Smith as we all watch this together. Again, on the field, he was called a little bit short, which would bring up 4th down. Reggie, what do you see?
I see from the program feed we're looking at here, the ball carrier extends the ball. Now, we know by rule it is out of bounds at the forward point where it crosses the sideline. What replay is going to determine is whether that ball was extended beyond the line to gain prior to him stepping out of bounds. based on what we've seen so far, it may be hard to overturn this, but I believe the ruling is going to be upheld.
Yeah, his foot goes past the first down marker, Reggie, which I think if you're at home, you're wondering, well, his ball's in his hand. It looked as though it crossed the first down marker as well, but it's such a hard play when they're on the sideline like that.
Right, and without that angle going down the line to gain, it's really going to be hard to reverse this. They could piece angles together, but even then, as we look at, as I'm looking at what the replay officials looking at, the ball appears to be extended, but the camera angle is from behind the ball carrier, so that gives a false impression that he made it further than what he did.
Well, Reggie, either way, Amari Evans is having another night. 3 catches last week. Off to a great start here.
After review, the ruling on the field that the runner was out of bounds short of the line to gain is upheld. 4th down.
Okay, so now we see what Jedd Fisch wants to do here on 4th and less than a yard.
And I got to imagine they're going to utilize these big backs that they have and these 2 tight ends. They can line up tight. Remember, they had an injury at the left tackle position a few snaps ago. It'll be a quick break right to the line of scrimmage.
Took a long time in the huddle. Adam Muhammad is the tailback. And now Jordan Washington joins him in a classic I backfield. Pitch to Washington. Speed gets him there and then some. He was the runner-up in the 100-meter dash in the state of California last year in high school. He gets 10 there.
Somewhere the Shanahan family is smiling right now. You're going to fake the dive, and then it's one step, and then it's going to be a pitch. And this is awesome. This is called the old F12 flip. Fake it to the F, your fullback, right there over the center, and then you flip it out to the fastest guy in the field for a first down.
Wait, how much fun are they having calling plays now that they've got him in the lineup in an already tough. First and goal now for Williams. Muhammad, patience. And he gets inside the 5. Let's take a look at Jordan Washington. He showed that speed even more last week.
Yeah, and how about the block that he got on the outside? That's the tight end, Quentin Moore. And there's one of the fastest men in the Big Ten. Coming out of high school, one of the fastest in all of this state. Was excited to come on back, a Long Beach native. And his role has expanded as the season has gone on.
Tailback right now is Muhammad. Couple of tight ends in as well on 2nd and goal. To pass. End zone. Roebuck couldn't get it.
Down in the tight red zone, it's such a feel thing offensively. There's Kevin Cummings, the wide receiver coach, standing next to Jedd Fisch. A lot of contact there. Trying to go up one-handed, trying to do his version of Denzel Boston. But here we sit with Carver Willis back in at left tackle. I'm running over the left side of my offensive line.
The tailback Jonah Coleman is split out wide to the right as a wide receiver.
Probably motion him back in. Or quarterback design run to the left.
Here comes Coleman back. Got to hustle. Ball went through his legs. Picked it back up to the end zone. Incomplete. Well, he executed that play last week to Decker DeGraff. This time he couldn't quite get it done in his 4th and goal.
Yeah, and it surprised everybody, including Jedd Fisch. He's smiling and said, last week we had it, but this time a poor snap from Henning, his first poor snap of the game, at 2 last week. But here's the athleticism, trying to make a play, but definitely don't want to make it worse to make sure you come away with points here. But that was a critical mistake by the center, Zachary Henning, on a key 3rd down.
Grady Gross on. He's already good from 36 yards out. That happened in the first quarter. This from 23. Grady Gross is 2 for 2. And you can say the same about Jedd Fisch's defense to offense when they've recovered fumbles here today. Both times they've done so, they've turned it into field goals.
Yeah, they have. You look at a week ago, they struggled with the snaps from Henning. a couple times early on in the ball game. Remember, Landon Hatchett, he's usually the center. He broke his right hand, can't snap, so they bring in the backup in Henning. That was the first one, led to a turnover, and then another one with eventually led to an impressive play from one of the most dynamic athletes in the country, but that also led to Washington playing the majority of the game under center. So I'd be curious, especially if Washington is able to get it back again, if they'll align a little bit more under center. And you don't see it often when you see these centers gripping the ball and kind of throwing it back like a knuckleball, hold the top of the football. Usually you can eliminate some of those. Jed Fish frustrated, a self-inflicted negative, knowing if they scored there, that could really potentially impact the nature of this game within the last 6 minutes or so of the half.
And again, Zach Henning, it's pretty new to him, the sophomore, just his second start at center. Saw the reaction from Jed Fish, said, I saw that twice last week. And he's hoping that'll be the only time here tonight. The Washington's first 3 drives only got him 48 yards, and they've turned it up since then, leading 13-0. And bringing it out is Cole Martin. Nice little cutback, and he's out to the 25, where they would have had the ball anyway. Okay, Nico, the start so far, all eyes on him. He's 9 out of 12 passing, only 30 yards. And pretty quiet on the ground, too. 2 carries, 26 yards.
Yeah, the biggest issues for UCLA is turnovers, and it's by 2 players that they trust in every element of this offense. Most recent, Nico Imaliava with the fumble. Previously, it was Mikey Matthews. So they're self-inflicted as well. If I'm UCLA, I'm going to try to generate a little bit of tempo if I can get a first down here. Got to get points here before the half.
Out of the pocket. There he goes. Little slide there at the end, but a decent start here to this series. Knocks off 5 here to bring up second down.
And again, everything goes through number 9, leading rusher for this team. And nobody wants that necessarily from the quarterback position, as you know, Paul, better than everybody. But here we sit in late November. Like, you've got to win games. And for Jerry Neuheisel, he knows it goes through QB1. So I think he's not going to necessarily call QB design run here, but give him one read and try to find a lane for him if it's not there to use his legs.
Got some catching up to do. No points and only 82 yards of total offense so far. Ground game up the middle, couple of skips. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. Thompson made the stop.
What we're seeing right now from defensive coordinator Ryan Walters, he's bringing 2 people right over the center. He's bringing both linebackers. You'll see both of them line up, mugged up near the center, trying to just eliminate any idea of Nico Imaliava being able to tuck and run in between the tackles.
And maybe tipping their hand, they bring their big running back in here. Anthony Frias is the biggest back of the 4 they like to play. See if he gets it here on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, don't be shocked to see a little wildcat here as well. They love some of that with him in the backfield.
Third and 2. Quarterback keep. Huskies there. McKellistine, the safety, said, no, you don't, and it's 4th down.
I mean, these guys are keyed up for this matchup. Number 1 playing here in the storied Rose Bowl. Ryan Walters said, hey, this is the guy we have to stop. Watch this defense right here. Fast flow to the football. As it happens, it's almost like he expected the quarterback, Imaliava, to keep it. He did exactly that, and he lines up. Look at the tackle. Staying outside. Beautiful leverage, getting help from inside from Jacob Manu, and that was a huge stop on a 3rd down.
Bruins 0 for 3 on 3rd down here in this quarter. Play clock down to 5. Punt is away. Desmond Roebuck from the 25. True freshman gets out to the 37. Time now for the Papa John's game break. Here's John Fanta.
Well, Paul and Yogi, let's update you again on what's happening in Cincinnati. And what happened is L.J. Martin, he goes off, icing the game with a 33-yard touchdown run, over 260 yards of offense. BYU with a win over UCF next week into the Big 12 championship game.
With a win and thinking about making that playoff.
Yeah, they are. Kalani Sitake, he has done such a marvelous job to follow his path. One-time defensive coordinator at Utah, Oregon State. He gets the head job there, and he's been impressive. Think about what happened with them at the quarterback position to start the season. Now where they sit, he's got to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
Now this Bruin defense needs a stop late in this second quarter. Play action. Williams over the middle. Intercepted. Picked off by the Bruins. And leaping is Cole Martin. Huge play for the UCLA defense.
How about Cole Martin? He's playing that safety right on the hash. He's practiced against Demond Williams. They went to the same high school. He's read this man many times. He reads it beautifully there, almost like a book. And a huge turnover. The catalyst on defense for the Bruins makes a play when they desperately needed one.
Well, they were -2 in the turnover game tonight, so that's massive that way. And we'll see how Demond Williams will respond. He has not done so in a positive way to turnovers recently. And now Jed Fish watches to see if his defense can respond. Little reverse around the end. I think Mikey Matthews was considering a pass there, Yogi. Didn't see what he liked. Picks up 2.
Yeah, well, there was nothing to like. It was gloved up on the back end from Washington. Smart job by him, not trying to make a situation worse. Also, the clock continues to go. This is a nice job here for UCLA and clock management. Here they sit. The last thing they want to do is give the ball back to Washington.
Cole Martin celebrates, and now Jerry Neuheisel, 33-year-old play caller for UCLA, goes to work. His best opportunity yet. Defense trying to assist the offense.
I'd work your slot a little bit at the top of the screen. Mokiao Atimalala, single coverage.
Iamaleava hit as he threw, and that pressure led to the incompletion. Zach Durfee got home.
Well, he's the best edge rusher for this team at the defensive end position. He's finally healthy. You'll see him here. He likes one in the stand-up position, and he does a nice job with his hands. This defense, they love working these things, and he's going up against the backup left tackle, rotating in now, and Jensen Somerville, the redshirt freshman. And look at this spin move. His hands first, tight job, staying close to the body of the tackle, impacted the throw.
UCLA only has 30 yards of passing offense now. They could use a big one here. Iamaleava, crosser, good catch inside the 15. That's a first down. Titus Mokiao Atimalala.
And a flag on the far side of the field.
And we'll eventually hear from referee Jason Nickleby.
Formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Crushing.
Yeah, another self-inflicted. You see the frustration from Tim Skipper, who's really done a marvelous job of keeping this team connected and together. No bowl game, but still coming out and competing. But again, too many self-inflicted. And they're talking about these receivers up here, just not properly aligned. You always got to talk to the official. You kind of point at them. Same thing with Ruben and EJ at the right tackle position. So frustration for Coach Skip.
So 3rd and 15 if they get a little back.
This is the same
they're thinking
formation.
about 4-down territory.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes still halftime. UCLA trying to get on the board before the break. They're down 13 with 2 minutes left.
Nicole, what was the most impactful thing that happened with the playoff teams today?
Well, I think it was Utah. Close call against a sub-500 team. That could have a severe impact on the bubble.
A bubble team maybe farther on the bubble now. Nicole's playoff bracket revealed on the Xfinity Halftime Report. Paul?
Ahmed, that means I'm watching halftime. I know what I'm doing during the break.
Let's go. Saturday night.
Now we wonder what the score will be. Demond Williams just threw an interception, and he watches, hoping his defense will bail him out. 13-0 Huskies here. 3rd and long for the Bruins. Iamaleava from the pocket. Lets it go. Way over the head of Mokiao Atimalala, and his 4th and long.
Tell you who's having a day is Jacob Manu, the linebacker. You'll watch him. He'll start here. He's going to creep, and then he's going to come. And he's doing a really nice job of kind of holding his water, not showing the blitz. And they're bringing 5 at times. He's the 5th. Eventually, they bring the other linebacker, Rainey Saleh, the freshman, number 23. And just no time, nobody getting open down the field.
Batin Begani from 46 yards out. He's been good this year, 4 out of 5 between 40 and 49 yards. Oh, it's a fake. They get it back to him, or they tried to. Scooped up by McLaughlin, and here he goes. Their leading tackler puts 6 on the board. And just like that, instead of 13-3, it's 19-zip. $59-yard return for Alex McLaughlin. He celebrates. Other side for Tim Skipper. Extra point from Grady Gross, up and in. Washington increases their lead here at the Rose Bowl to 20-0.
Well, like UCLA wanted to be aggressive in this game, had a chance to make it 13-3, and it's like Begani didn't either know the ball was coming to him. I mean, he ran that way, but never went for the ball. McLaughlin, heads up play by him. Begani trying to get it, doesn't, and it bounces right there. And how about the scoop and score from the transfer out of Northern Arizona? Really nice job there of just anticipating it. I mean, McLaughlin is one of the more heady players on this UW team, and it was high alert all week long in Seattle. Special teams, special teams, special teams. Jed Fish knew it. I'm sure he told his units on special teams, hey, be ready for anything. McLaughlin was ready for that.
Tough maneuver for the holder, Cash Peterman, to just sling it behind you like that on target, but he didn't get it done, and that led to the 6.
You often don't anticipate the pressure if you're Begani as well. I'm sure he peeked at it as he was running to his right, and frustration right there for Tim Skipper and Peterman right there.
Defense has recovered 2 fumbles. They each led to a field goal. Now the special teams puts points on the board. That with a DeMond Williams touchdown is how the Huskies lead 20-0. So just like last week in Columbus, UCLA looking at the real possibility of going to the halftime locker room with 0 points.
Yeah, and they were really self-inflicted, right? Whether it's turnovers, here's Mikey Matthews, punched out by Jacob Lane, big turnover led to points. Here's your quarterback, your catalyst. That one gets bumped out from Deshaun Lynch, who had a PBU earlier. And then you go for it, and it's there, other than McLaughlin sniffing it out the entire time. Leads to 7 points. Turnovers lead to points. That is a metric that has been true until the end of time in college football.
Boy, 3 fumbles lost tonight, 0 points. And now Maleava trying to get something going late.
Timeout, Washington. Their second. 30 seconds.
Hey, look, it's a long game. So if you're Jerry Neuheisel and company, you're saying, all right, 1:44 left. We've got our timeouts. Can we flush it? That is always the most challenging part for any quarterback or any team, especially UCLA one. They've gone through so much this season. Sean Foster, both coordinators, let go, and this team has stuck together. They need to do that now, see if they can find points, because they will get the ball coming out of the half.
All right, time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Discover. Black Friday, looking forward to being there with Yogi, number 2 Indiana against Purdue, 7 o'clock Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Then on Saturday, number 7 Oregon versus Washington, 3:30 on CBS. Right back here in Los Angeles in prime time for our guys, UCLA, USC, 7 o'clock on NBC and Peacock. All right, Nico with a chance here to the sideline. Quasi Gilmore is top receiver coming into this game with a rare touch tonight. It's only 5. Bryce Hawk with the coverage.
Yeah, and a big storyline coming to this game was, can these receivers beat man coverage? Tacario Davis, the number 2 corner for Washington, not playing in this ball game. they haven't been able to get anything going down the field, and they got to find a way to see if they could break an explosive with one of these wideouts.
Only 35 yards passing so far. 4-man rush. Quick slant. Boy, hammered, but he held on to the 40. Back-to-back catches for Gilmer.
Yeah, now you got to go a little bit of tempo here. You get that first down. Line up at the line of scrimmage. You've got your select menu of plays. This is everything you know to be absolutely certain if you're Nico Iamaleava. This is the plays that you love most.
Clock moving. Iamaleava in trouble. Escapes. Flips it. Frias. Wisely gets out of bounds. 1:19 left in the half. Alex McLaughlin just had the touchdown and almost had Iamaleava.
See the pressure again. It will come off the edge. Durfee does such a nice job, number 5, McLaughlin. And that's the athleticism that Ryan Walters, the defensive coordinator of Washington, told us about. I've never seen anything like it, was his quote to us.
Slow snap back, setting up, and now on the move. Iamaleava chucks it toward the sideline and just saving a play right there. 1:11 left, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and UW's just teeing off right now in terms of calling pressures, and Jed Fish has saved that one timeout. So the clock stops obviously here, pending what UCLA chooses to do. If they run it, Jed's going to call a timeout immediately, so I'd imagine they'll go to the air. And I'd work the slots again. You're going to see pressure. You'll have an opportunity in between the hashes, and you have more than enough time here if you get a first down.
The slow snaps in the shotgun back to the quarterback are killing this offense right now. Not giving him any chance of timing and rhythm. Another one. Iamaleava dumps it. Good cutback out to the 45. Goes Habermill, the tight end. Picks up 5. Clock stops.
You hear this term, simulated pressures, all the time. And that's exactly what we just saw on that previous snap.
Washington, their 3rd and final to half.
All it means is it looks like 5 guys are going to come, but the reality is only 4 will as the snap unfolds. So it looks like pressure, but it's not. But they bring somebody from depth right there from the back end. That's the nickel defender, Rashawn Clark. So as a quarterback, you're thinking, oh, they're bringing everybody. They only bring 4. They drop 7 into coverage, and it limits all the windows for Iamaleava.
Think about what Ryan Walters, defensive coordinator, told us yesterday. He said, got to change the look, got to stem, got to disguise, got to bring more pressure than he's used to. Any way to throw him off his game.
Yeah, not a big pressure outfit. The most they pressured was in the snow at Wisconsin all season long, which made a ton of sense with what Wisconsin was dealing with at quarterback. Against Nico Iamaleava, you rarely want to do that because of his legs. And it looks like UCLA is going to go for it here on a 4th down.
And Washington called that timeout. You can see how they're thinking. Get the ball back and give it back to number 2 and see what he can do.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this either from Tim Skipper. You want to play aggressive. You're at home. You know what this season has been like.
4th and 4. Iamaleava spins out. In trouble, goes down. Ball came out, and running the other way are the Huskies. Penalty marker is down. Taitai Uiagalelei rumbled down to the 10. Marker down on the other side of the field.
Early on the field as the interception. The interceptor was ruled down prior to the ball coming loose.
There is a lot going on this play on both sides of the field.
There is also a flag down.
Yeah, multiple flags. One on the UCLA side. Looked like there might have been a hold downfield, and then one near the Washington sideline.
Pass, holding, defense, number 6. Automatic, first down. There's also a sideline warning against Washington. Their first of the game. There is no yardage penalty associated with this warning.
Bring great pressure, impact in the pocket, but you saw the hold downfield. There's the freshman making his start here tonight. As the wideout unfold, there it is, easily on the jersey. Easy call from the official, saw the flag from up here. And then after the turnover, the sideline goes bonkers, as you'd imagine. They get a flag there, so net positive for the Bruins.
Okay, thinking points for the Bruins potentially here, Yo. Long of 54 this season for Mateen Begani, so they're starting to get into that distance. UCLA, all 3 timeouts left.
more than enough time here with 51 ticks left in the half. So the biggest thing for Imaliava and company is just protect the ball. You got to come out of this thing with points.
Imaliava, pressure off the edge, picked up, steps, throws, and completes, and a little bit too high for Matthews.
And in these types of games, you got to make those throws. I mean, there's for both sides, they've missed a few tonight that are uncharacteristic. That one is very uncharacteristic of Imaliava. Climbs the pocket. They bring another simulated type pressure and trying to find his target down the field. Just a little too high for Matthews.
Yeah, Nico knows it. Surprising to look down and see UCLA does not have 100 yards of total offense yet. Now they go to the run. Woods, good cutback to the 40-yard line. Late flag comes raining in after Durfee made the tackle, and a gain of 3.
Holding offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty, second down.
That's the veteran celebrating senior day, Garrett DeGiorgio, in his 49th start for the Bruins. And that field goal attempt is looking a lot further away.
Yeah, they got to try to find an explosive play. There's the veteran, to your point. Such an impact on this team. They get him for the hold there, and it's the cutback of Woods. And easy call for the officials.
Timeout, UCLA, their first of the half, 30 seconds.
Okay, so they finally use one of those timeouts. Imaliava will come over to the sideline, converse with Jerry Neuheisel. And with those 2 timeouts, 40 seconds is a long time.
Oh, yeah, more than enough time here. They just got to find something down the seams. I keep saying that. You're seeing all these different looks. Imaliava's got to look one way, try to hold a safety, see if he can come on backside. We have not gotten a lot of action down the field in this game. You're going to see tight coverage on the outside. I think there's an opportunity, whether it's your tight ends or one of those slot receivers, to make some hay down the hashes.
Take a look at the game summary right there. The 3 fumbles lost by the Bruins right now are huge. Time for a look at the United cam. Washington on top by 20. A combination defense, special teams, just enough Damon Williams to push him out to that 20-point lead. And now UCLA, a couple of timeouts left. A lot of belief in their quarterback, trying to get something going offensively before they hit that halftime locker room. Imaliava steps up over the middle, and another miss high. Jack Peterson, the tight end, was the intended target.
Yeah, you're watching Washington. They saw that kind of bunch formation with 3 wide receivers, Peterson being one of them at the tight end position, and they just passed everything off. It's kind of like basketball. You're going to come in towards me as a defender. All right, I'll pick him up. It's this match man-to-man style of defense, and Imaliava has just been off.
Yeah, under 50% now in this second quarter, 6 out of 13 for only 27 yards. And this is a quarterback who was 64% last year at Tennessee, 64% this season at UCLA, well below his standard. Imaliava swings it out of the backfield, connects. Now inside of Washington territory, 29 seconds left, the clock stops.
A really good play call there from Jerry Neuheisel. Just try to get a completion, see if you can find some positive yardage. They get that, put themselves into this situation, and you wonder what they're going to do here.
And they're telling us right now, the punt team coming out. Will Carroll will punt it away, and Nico Imaliava will go to the halftime locker room with a big goose egg on the UCLA side of the scoreboard.
UCLA's faked a few punts this season. I don't anticipate that here. I think they want to try to just get to the half.
Freshman receiver Desmond Roebuck back deep for Washington, standing just inside his own 10. Fair catch on the 7. 23 ticks left. Washington inside their own 10. No timeouts left. Got to think a knee is coming.
I don't know. Knowing Jed Fish in this offense, they might try to take a shot. I mean, you got one of the most dynamic players in America in your quarterback. UCLA hasn't necessarily impacted the pocket in the backfield. I'd be curious to see his play call here. I'm with you. I understand what traditional thinking might say,
I like your mindset, though. I'd love to see it. All right, 23 seconds left. No timeouts. Muhammad left side. And that is likely how this first half will come to a close.
The storyline really turnovers. I think when you look at it, big picture, turnovers led to points. Took a shot on the fake field goal, led to a touchdown. And now for the Bruins, they can't hang their heads. They've got to find a way to regroup. As Tim Skipper often tells his team, you got to find a way to strain, got to find a way to come together. No doubt that they'll come out and give their best effort. Remember, they get the ball coming out of the half.
That's right. Damon Williams has a touchdown run. Alex McLaughlin, the safety, has a touchdown on special teams as well. Here's Caroline with Jed Fish.
Coach, I saw your excitement after that Alex McLaughlin scoop and score. What did that play do for your team?
Oh, it was awesome. We talk about it all the time. Make a play on special teams, change the game. Pretty cool that we did that to go up 20-0. We've missed way too many opportunities on offense. Way too many guys that we just missed throws on. And then defensively is playing lights out right now. So we got to get our run game going. We got to hit some of these passes.
You are up 20-0 at halftime. How will that affect your plan for Jonah Coleman and Denzel Bostard in the second half?
No, nothing will affect it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Paul?
Caroline, thank you. Jed Fish and the Huskies in the first half outscored 47-0 by the Buckeyes and the Huskies. Good news for UCLA. They get a chance to do something about it right away. They'll be on the 25. But first, here's Caroline with interim head coach Tim Skipper.
Coach, 3 turnovers for your offense in the first half. How do you clean that up?
Yeah, we have to reset the game. That's what we talked about in there. Our mental toughness is being challenged right now, so we just have to step up to the plate, reset, 30 minutes to get it back.
What did you tell your defense at halftime?
Keep playing, and then we can get turnovers too. So we'll keep going after the ball and keep playing hard.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Paul?
Tim, Caroline, thank you. Yogi, if you're calling plays or if you had a line of advice to Jerry Neuheisel, what are you thinking here this third quarter?
Well, I think you got to be really aggressive. I'd start with that, and I think you got to get your receivers involved. The UCLA wideouts, 19 total yards combined among them all in the passing game in the first half. Not going to get it done.
Start out with the ground game. Patience off the right side. Not a lot there. Short gain at 2. You talk about the wideouts, and I go back to what Tim Skipper told us yesterday at the UCLA complex, that he loved the matchup with his wideouts and their DBs, and we just haven't seen it yet.
Well, here's the reality is that the front 7 of Washington, they're having their way right now. They're finding ways into the backfield. So if the first read is not open, after that first drive of the ball game, you're looking at these linebackers over the 2 guards. They're not allowing Nico Imaliava to escape inside. So they got to put him on the perimeter on the edge a little bit.
That was late in that second quarter before the Bruins went over 100 yards of total offense. Imaliava right on the money, but a good open field tackle there to prevent the catch and run. Dylan Robinson keeps it to a gain of 1.
Yeah, the freshman starting, replacing Takario Davis. Davis was an elite corner, 6'4", 200. Here comes this freshman. They think he's got a chance to be the next great one up in Seattle. He's done a nice job. Had a penalty in the first half down the field, but overall, it doesn't look too big for the youngster.
Yeah, a lot of ways you can point out what Washington did well defensively in that first half. Bruins 1 for 8 on third down. Make it 1 for 9.
Say the guy that showed up in the first half is the one forcing Nico Imaliava to throw it early, and it's the linebacker Jacob Manu. This is the Southern California native. This is going to be the final time he plays until they get to the bowl season. And the way that he's rushing, the way that he's impacting the pocket, it's really impressive. And you could see him forcing Imaliava throw it a hair early, and he's missed a few times today.
Will Carroll did not expect to be out this early. Funky formation here for their first punt of this third quarter. Low. Roebuck with a great chance on the dead run, but a nice tackle there to prevent him from getting into that full sprint. Nonetheless, Huskies will begin in excellent shape here to start this third quarter offensively.
How about this? Sometimes the ball just bounces perfectly. Roebuck picks it up, and you're thinking maybe a chance. If he gets past that first defender, it could have been an explosive play. Nice job there on the tackle, but great field position. And this has been the story for Washington. A couple weeks ago at Wisconsin, their second half, every drive was inside their own 10-yard line. They're starting near midfield. This is a bonus, and I think for Washington coming out of the half, Jed talked about it to Caroline, they've got to get these playmakers involved. Their receiving core only 26 yards of total offense.
Williams starts this third quarter under center, fakes to Muhammad. Sets up a screen and just missed there to bring up second down 10. The defense for UCLA had that sniffed out. Caroline.
Well, Paul, Damon Williams was visibly frustrated after his interception in the first half. He came over to the sideline saying, that's on me, my fault. This coaching staff told us he's tremendous at learning from his mistakes, but he's also very hard on himself. They're working on that short-term memory with him. Jordan Washington came over to Damon to comfort him, and we'll see how he responds in the second half.
Caroline, thank you. And Yogi, I know that's something that you're keeping a close eye on, too.
Yeah, body language for quarterbacks is part of their growth. And Jed Fish talked about Damon Williams, and these tough losses, these tough weeks are just the next natural step.
Big gash for Muhammad off that right side. He gets out close to a first. Picks up 9.
And I think you just go back to that game I referenced moments ago at Wisconsin. They struggled, he struggled, and then he came home and said, okay, if I'm going to be the one taking all the praise and all the blame, then I am going to own this thing. It's going to be my locker room. You see the results after a turnover. He has struggled. That is a part of the growth. It's part of his growth. And here in a 3rd and short, I'd imagine he's going to hand it off, see if they can convert this 3rd down.
If he does, it'll be to Adam Muhammad. Oh, he keeps it, sets up. In trouble, and he can keep it himself for the first. That's exactly what he does. Finds plenty of open space down to the 25.
You just can't coach this. I mean, it's covered great. Watch Key Lawrence. He's the one that's going to force Damon Williams to say, no, it's not there. He wanted to throw to his left, but it was gloved up, and then this is just a part of his game. We saw it in the first half of the touchdown. He's such a threat. With his arm, with his legs, his athleticism, but it's his mind. He understands now in his 13th start the timing of when the pocket's going to collapse. Then it's time for him to get out. First down.
Gain of 21 right there. He also had the 25-yard touchdown run going this way in the second quarter. Wants to pass here. Little pump. Still looking. And to the sideline, a sliding effort and a nice catch there by the freshman, Des Roebuck, for another first.
Yeah, I think 6 games ago, Damon Williams throws this to his left. He wants to throw a slant and go over to the top there. He thinks maybe touchdown to Audric Harris. You'll see it at the top of the screen. It's a pump, nothing there. It's an old school West Coast offense play. He works all the way back. He knows where the line of scrimmage is. No problem. Take the easy completion, find that freshman Roebuck, and away we go. And that's part of the maturation process that's underway at Washington.
Arizona native to Arizona native for another first down there. Speaking of, there's another one. Muhammad stood up before he got to the 10-yard line. Good job by the Bruin defense. Back to Damon Williams and responding to mistakes. I thought he was great talking to us this week. And this is the guy who was state player of the year, 10,000 yards passing, state champion, 3,000 yards rushing. He said, I didn't have a lot of negative plays in high school. I didn't get blamed for losses because I wasn't responsible for too many. So this is kind of new territory for me.
Yeah, and that happens to every elite player. And I think that's just, you got to wear those scars. You got to have those scars. And in the Big Ten, on the road, he's had to deal with those. We'll see in the tight red zone. I'd imagine he's going to work through a slot wide out here.
Keeps it himself, a run all the way inside the 10. Touchdown, Williams! His second touchdown run tonight makes it 26-0.
This is a really nice job. He sees the coverage, all the numbers on this side, so he says, I'm going to run it here to where we have the advantage with our wide receivers, our tight ends. Gets a great block from 88. Moore, a great kick-out block from Finau, his left guard, and he's untouched into the end zone, and that is the duality of his game. He's got the ability at the line of scrimmage to say, do I like the coverage? No, I don't, so we're going to run it. I'm going to keep it. I go to my left for 6.
Brady Gross, extra points. Washington was better in the second quarter than they were in the first. Start the second quarter. Well, this third quarter even better. They get a stop on defense. And Demond Williams with that touchdown right there. Huskies in control, leading by 27. From the network that brought you The Office and Parks and Rec comes an all-new episode of TV's Feel Better Comedy. St. Dennis Medical, Monday on NBC and Peacock. Now Washington feeling better as this game gets longer. 27-0. They just scored on the first drive of this third quarter. Demond Williams with his second touchdown run of the night. Huskies having their way here in Pasadena. And the Bruins will begin from the 25. Tough times, yes, for sure, in Westwood for UCLA. Fired head coach Deshaun Foster after that 0-3 start where they showed just very few signs of life. They promoted Tim Skipper. Second year in a row as the interim head coach. Did it at Fresno State last year. Then they got hot. Won 3 games in a row. The signature moment right there. Knocking off then number 7 Penn State right here at the Rose Bowl. Then they came back down to earth quite a bit. 3 losses in a row coming into the night. And now down 27-0 to Washington. Anthony Frias, decent game there out to the 30. Credit to UCLA, though. We were at practice on Thursday, and the energy there was not of a program that had lost 3 games in a row and was having a difficult season.
Yeah, well, Coach Skipper talked to Caroline about it at halftime, and that's been the message all week of can you navigate adversity? If coaches getting fired and upheaval within your team is the hardest thing to go through, like wake up, it's going to get much harder as life goes on, and they know that, and they've competed through that. And I think we'll see as this game unfolds, and next week's game against the crosstown rivalry UC Troy, this team will not fall.
Freeze, back-to-back touches, gets the first there. Go ahead.
I just think that's a big credit to Tim Skipper and what he's done since becoming the interim head coach.
He told us that the entire thing has been enjoyable. We get beat badly in Bloomington. I got a smile on my face coming home thinking about how we can get better. And this time, Husky defense there. Tackle made at the 40 on Frias. No gain. Comes from a coaching family. His dad has coached forever. It's really kind of all he knows.
Yeah, he's been around the game for so long. He's played here in this stadium when he was a linebacker at Fresno State. And he's a guy that I think has all the tools to be a head coach someday. I mean, you saw him last year in the interim role. We've seen him this year in the interim role. I think when given the opportunity to get the keys to the car, Tim Skipper has got the acumen, got the pedigree, clearly the experience over the last 24 months. He understands what it takes to lead a program.
Now hoping his offense can get inside Washington territory, take a shot down the sideline. A lot of contact, no flag. Good defense by who else? Alex McLaughlin.
I'll tell you what, you got to love players who just bet on themselves, and that's exactly what he did coming out of high school. He wanted to go to Arizona with Jed Fish. Coach Fish said, you could walk on. He said, no, thanks. I'm going to go be an All-American in Northern Arizona. And that's a great job right there. Understanding how PIs get called. Usually when wideouts are jumping back into a DB, it gets flagged. He anticipates that, stays away from Mokiao Atimalala, bats the ball down, and now he's a full scholarship playmaker in the Big Ten.
And what a first half he had. Led the team in tackles, just like he has all season. Also scored the special teams touchdown, scooping up the ball and sprinting for a touch. Iamaleava in trouble and sacked. Swallowed up at the 22. And that injured player, you see it as well, is Iamaleava. Was a loss of 15 yards, and Tim Skipper out to take a look and hope there's not a bigger loss for his team with his quarterback.
He's such a tough player. You know, it's been on display all season long. You see him in the pocket. There's a little twist up front. Pressure coming from the edges. The freshman Devin Hyde.
Iamaleava remains down. We're back to Pasadena right after this. So right after we went to break, quarterback Nico Iamaleava did get up and walk off under his own power, did head right into the medical tent there. We take a look here at the sack, and you'll notice the helmet to helmet. Should point out he did miss last week's game at Ohio State because of a concussion. We wait for word what he is dealing with, but hard not to look at that helmet to helmet hit that came in there.
Yeah, he's been under siege the entirety of the night ever since that first drive, and a collision right there as well.
Punt is away. Desmond Roebuck, fair catch at the 31. And Demond Williams, his numbers aren't huge, aren't that of someone who's leading the Big Ten in total offense, but he has come up with just enough big plays, especially on the ground, to remind you of who he is.
Well, you saw the highlight reel one in the first half, and then I think on the first drive of the third quarter, I'm sure he heard the message that we heard from Jedd Fisch prior to halftime of too many missed opportunities out on the field. And I think it's fair. It's not an excuse, but it's fair. Denzel Boston, one of the top receivers in America, not going. Raiden Weinsbright, his freshman target at wide receiver, not going. This offensive line has been a mishmash the last couple weeks. So he's been navigating the bunch, but he's responded.
Boy, he's got a wide open freshman receiver. Des Roebuck sprints inside of UCLA territory. Well-designed play gets him 22.
Yeah, that's a really nice job. From under center, you'll see it watch the pitch to his right, get the defense flowing that way, and then he just comes out the back door. The entire defense caught off a little guard, and nice job by him throwing it right over the head of linebacker Isaiah Chisholm.
Oh, you can just sense the fun Jedd Fisch has with the passing talent and the comfort outside the pocket of his sophomore quarterback. After all that shifting, freshman Jordan Washington the back. Williams, penalty marker comes in, and he dots his man on the sideline. Likely coming back. Hold against Washington.
Holding, offense, number 4, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's me, Jordan Washington. See it right there, right in the middle of your screen, up against Anthony Jones, a defensive end at 265 pounds. Washington at 185 pounds. The only way to slow him down, sometimes you think you grab him, but that's where Demond Williams' athleticism comes in, and that'll be a lesson that Washington will learn as his quarterback gets out the pocket. Just kind of trust that he can make that type of play with his legs.
Washington back home to Los Angeles from Long Beach, like so many Huskies this year and throughout the years from Southern California. That wiped out an 18-yard gain. Gets him out just before the 50-yard line. So Demond Williams rushing the ball has certainly had his moments.
Yeah, he's been impressive in a bunch of different ways. Again, he wins with his legs, with his arm, but really with his mind. And when you're playing a dual-threat quarterback, you're trying to trick him all game long. But Demond Williams, his intelligence is winning right now at the quarterback position. He understands where defenders are dropping, where there are holes, and he knows the type of athlete he is. That was a beautiful example. Too many defenders to his right. He audibles to the run to his left, untouched into the end zone. And we're watching the growth of a young quarterback continue to happen here in college football.
Look at that deep drop, sets up, takes a shot. Wide open receiver, and inside the 10. Chris Lawson, first time targeted today, gets 42 yards.
Jedd Fisch, after an explosive play, they love to line up as quickly as possible, trying to keep that defense in the same personnel grouping.
Boy, that was deeper than a 10-yard drop, and he just stepped into it. And wonderful work by Chris Lawson coming back to catch that in traffic. First and goal, Huskies. Williams escapes. Flag comes in. And he skips into the end zone, but we'll have to check on the flag.
Yeah, this is coming back. This is a holding on the offensive line, and they're frustrated. They know it as well.
Holding. Offense. Number 50. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Left tackle, the senior Carver Willis.
And you'll see him right here. Matched up against Jacob Busick. I thought the hold was on the inside at the left guard. Regardless, might have been 2 holds on that play for the offensive line. But what a play. You talked about the deep drop from Damon Williams. This is big time. You usually want to be about 7-8 yards. He's about 12, 14 yards. They just absolutely lets it rip. And to your point, the freshman Chris Lawson, nice job of tracking the ball in the air, coming back, making a play.
Only his 7th catch on the year, now under center with Muhammad behind him. Williams gonna throw it again. Looking, open man, robot, touchdown Huskies! Damon Williams has entered the making it look easy phase tonight.
Yeah, and watch him. This is going to be play action fake, and as he sets up, he understands the pocket. It's the integrity of the pocket. He's going to look to his right. There's the pocket, set up in front of it, come back to the left, and that's why you work from under center, because if you don't do that, the timing is not going to look as effortless as it did on that touchdown.
Getting under center is something he didn't do in high school. We talked to the coaches this week. He's kind of a natural. It wasn't too much of an issue for him.
I think he's a natural at pretty much everything.
Williams coming alive through the air on that drive. A perfect 4 out of 4. 83 yards and a touchdown. Little over 5 minutes left in the third quarter here in Pasadena. Huskies extend that lead to 34-0. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Rose Bowl always looks good lit up at night, especially tonight if you're a Husky fan. Washington having their way, 34-0. Helmet on for the backup quarterback Luke Duncan. He started last week at Ohio State. Nico Iamaleava went to the medical tent after the last drive, so Duncan will get a shot here. We'll see where he starts. Cole Martin did not get the edge, and having an evening is McLaughlin, the safety. And we go down to Carolina.
Well, Paul, as you said, Nico Iamaleava walked into the tent under his own power. He has remained there for over 10 minutes now. Backup quarterback Luke Duncan was warming up for the majority of that series. We'll keep you posted on Nico's status.
Caroline, thank you. And Luke Duncan had to grow up a lot last week. Yogi, he had never thrown a pass in college. And we're going to throw you out to the shoe in prime time against the #1 team. Oh, by the way, they've got the #1 defense in the nation, too. Thought he represented himself pretty well. First play on the move. And he put it right there. Dropped by Anthony Frias to bring up second down. And also a penalty marker is down.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense. Number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Tough start for Luke Duncan. Jerry Neuheisel not calling plays.
Correction. The foul was declined. It will be second down.
And talking to Jerry this week at the end of the week, Yogi, you could tell he was proud of what Luke did last week in Columbus, too.
Yeah, I mean, add on to the list you just read off there. He learned 24 hours before the game that he was going to be the guy against Ohio State. Luke Duncan, his first half, looked like a guy who never started in college football. The second half, he was pretty efficient, checking the ball down, getting out of his hand.
Decent pickup there across the 20-yard line. Zach Durfee, a big hit at the end. And some extracurriculars and a late flag. Flags have certainly picked up as this game has gotten longer.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Freshman.
That's number 23's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Freshman linebackers Adrius Rainey Saleh. Didn't think that would be the first time we brought him up because of a penalty, because he has been playing some ball.
Yeah, he's such a talented young player.
Ooh.
And there he is. Yep. Hands to the face of Ruben Unije. And Saleh's a big guy, 6'3", 225. Unije is a lot bigger.
Duncan gives Berger, nothing there. And this UCLA offense, they started out pretty well, Yogi. 51 yards on the first drive. Didn't get them points, but it was encouraging. 8 drives since, 53 total yards.
Well, I think part of that is a self-inflicted negative, right? You got the 2 turnovers. The other part, you got to give credit to Ryan Walters and this defense. That first drive, Imaliava had his longest play of the night in terms of, am I going to go to my first read? No, I'm going to utilize my legs. There's been nothing for his legs in between the tackles since that opening drive. So nice adjustment from the defensive coordinator.
First down line is brought to you by T-Mobile. Duncan from the pockets has another one dropped. This one by his tight end, Jack Peterson.
Yeah, right now you just see the body language of UCLA, and clearly they're frustrated. It's been a frustrating season. It's frustrating when you see your starter, your alpha, go down, and Imaliava, and some uncharacteristic drops. One right there from Jack Peterson, one earlier from Frias. They got to find a way to push the ball down the field a little bit. If you get a first down, get a little mojo here.
They've not been doing that on third down so far, converting just 1 out of 10 times. Again, Luke Duncan in at quarterback for Nico Iamaleava. Went to the medical tent after the last drive. They bring a blitz, gets rid of it, throws a strike. Biggest pass play yet, Titus Mokiel Atimalala. Put it right on the jersey, well done.
Yeah, this is a really nice job. You'll see pressure come in late right here. And Luke Duncan says, okay, I see you coming in this simulated pressure. No problem. My arm will beat your blitz. Does a nice job getting to Mokiel Atimalala. Finally, an explosive play for this offense.
I noticed it last week, too, and I saw it at practice at the end of the week in Westwood. Kid's got an arm, and that was not an easy throw.
No. You know, I've known Luke for quite a long time. He's a guy who's always believed in himself, bided his time. Remember what happened in the spring? Every quarterback transferred when Nico Iamaleava came in, except him. He stayed. He said, you know what, I'm going to stay, I'm going to grow, I'm going to learn. Had an opportunity last week. He's got one now.
Picked up 24 on that play. They had 7 total yards in the second half before it. Run play down to the 37-yard line. Picks up 2. That's Jalen Berger. He's been a Spartan. He's been a Badger in the Big Ten. Now his second and final season at UCLA.
Yeah, and they've used him in a variety of roles, whether it's the Wildcat, traditional running back, catching the ball out of the backfield. I just think this defense has done a marvelous job. I mean, you see so many guys at the line of scrimmage. It looks almost every snap like they're going to bring pressure, and they punch out, or they rock and roll their safeties. Keep an eye on McLaughlin, number 12, over the slot to the short side of the field.
7th play of this drive. Their longest drive is 9. Put it right on, and this will be a touchdown. Mikey Matthews, and UCLA is on the board. Luke Duncan ignites some offense.
Let's take a look at our Walmart look from above. That's the blitz. And Luke Duncan feels it coming. He says, no problem, I'm going to go the other way. Does exactly that to Mikey Matthews. He fumbled it earlier, not here. Finds his way to the end zone.
Duncan 61 yards passing on that one drive. UCLA had only 69 total prior. Mateen Begani showing patience here. And there's his extra point up and in. Luke Duncan had a touchdown pass in Columbus last week, and now he has his first touchdown pass at home. It goes to Mikey Matthews. And the Bruins are on the board. Washington's lead is now 34-7. Moments ago, this was the scene on the UCLA sideline. Quarterback Nico Iamaleava, towel over his head, walking through the tunnel into the UCLA locker room. And a couple of series ago, this is why he left the game. They hit right there. And again, missed last week's game against Ohio State in Columbus due to a concussion, and took that blow to the head from Devin Bryant. No report exactly on what the injury is. Just know what we saw right there. And he has left through the tunnel into the locker room.
Yeah, you hope he obviously is okay. We said it off the top of the broadcast. Not only one of the most dynamic players at that position in the country, but also I think one of the most misunderstood players in the country. He's told us numerous times this fall, he came back to LA, he wanted to be around his family, he wanted to be around people that he knew, his comfort zone, came on back, and he's the one that when changes happened in Westwood and Deshaun Foster was let go, he's the guy that said, look, if you're in, you're in. If you're out, you can take off as well. They went on this little run that really took over college football for a couple weeks, Paul.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that I think is an alpha. He's got unique traits to him, obviously, with his legs and his dynamic ability to flick the ball down the field. So you hope he's all right.
Damon Williams to throw again. Look at that pocket. Sets up. Well, he loves that freshman wideout, Desmond Roebuck. Good catch right there. He had the touchdown. This time he gets 12.
Yeah, I think every team has games. We kind of call them growth games. This is exactly another one, I think, for this freshman. You'll see him come from right to left. How about this route? And just sitting in the pocket, moving slightly over to his left is Damon Williams. And we've seen Roebuck in the first half, the second half. He seems like a different player, much more comfortable player within this offense.
At least 3 catches every Big Ten game so far. That was his 4th tonight. Adam Muhammad springs free inside of UCLA territory. Well done by the offensive line.
And no Jonah Coleman a lot tonight. He doesn't have a carry, but I'll tell you what, Adam Muhammad, he looks the part, and he's going to get the attention of the Oregon Ducks next week because they're going to have to stop him in the run game. And I think even going back to Roebuck, it's one thing to be the number 2 receiver, number 3 receiver, but when all of a sudden you got to be the guy, it is a different mentality. And I think we've seen him grow tonight.
He's done very well there without Denzel Boston. Second game he's missed in a row with that ankle injury. Well, they are letting him throw here in this quarter. Sets up, fires, another open man. And once again, it's Roebuck. Having himself a night here in Pasadena.
Yeah, as is Damon Williams. His comfort level in the pocket's impressive. Just watch his head as he drops back. He's going to scan the field. This is a true pro-style offense. 1, 2, 3, then come on back over the ball. A little old-school West Coast concept right there, and that's his freshman. Understanding the depth, the timing. He's not the first read in the progression. He's the 3rd read. He sits, waits, gets vertical.
Play action. Being chased off the back foot. Oh, that almost happened. Andre Jordan got in there late. Amari Evans, intended receiver.
Nice job by Jordan. Tim Skipper often talks about those strain-type plays. This was one of them late. Damon Williams vibing a little bit right now, throws it up, and that late play. Great job breaking it up. That was about to be a catch. How about that left arm right there from Jordan? That's impressive.
First incompletion in the last 7 attempts for Damon Williams. Freshman Jordan Washington joins him in the backfield. Washington, space. O-line doing some work here. They'll set up inside the 20.
The hardest part about being a young running back is being patient. You're so used to being the fastest guy in high school, and how about the patience from this back? He's going to follow the right side of this offensive front. Really impressive. Wait, take a beat, assess what the offensive line does, then run right by Hockey Finau. They say light a match off the backside of your interior offensive lineman. He did that.
Got 17 on that one. Came into this night averaging at a little over 9 yards per carry. give him another chance. This time tracked down from the backside. Jalen Woods, the linebacker, caught up with him. Loss of 1. And that's it. We compare his running and passing, and they have both been good as this game has gotten longer tonight. Slings it out wide. Giant hit. My goodness, Kanye Clark.
Timeout for an injured offensive player. Go down.
Chris Lawson.
Whoa. You hope he just got the wind knocked out of him. This play happened so fast. Clark saw it the whole time. Beats the wide receiver, Omari Evans. You know, oftentimes, you know this from playing, when you don't see it coming,
yeah,
it just kind of happens so quick. It doesn't hurt as much as it looks like it hurts.
Right.
You know,
it's loud and it's startling in the moment, and he's gathered himself, and hopefully he's okay.
Well, there's a part of these freshmen of you got to elevate. I mean, Randy Vinesbright not going after his injury a week ago. Denzel Boston not going tonight. So all of a sudden, these youngsters, you've seen Roebuck in the second half. Lawson made a play earlier. They've got to continue to elevate.
Haven't had many third down and longs here. Jed Fish is not. Third down and 14 is what they face right now. Got to get down to the 7-yard line. Big blitz coming, sends it to the end zone. Contact, and yes, there's a flag down. Kanye Clark got a little handsy there against Evans.
Yeah, and that's where Kanye Clark is going to grow, only a redshirt freshman. Got to understand where you are on the field. That's the biggest issue when you're in man-to-man coverage. It was blitz zero, meaning they brought the entirety of the house, man-to-man everywhere.
Defense, number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You got to just look back, and that's the part of the timing of where you are. It only comes with increased reps. He's practiced well. They wanted to give him reps tonight. I think I'll learn from that one.
It's fun talking to Jed Fish during the week about the fun challenge of calling plays for DeMond Williams. He smiled and said, I've been around a lot of different quarterbacks, but this has been a learning challenge for me. It's new to coach someone with this type of skill set.
Yeah, basically he can make any potentially bad call look really good.
Make it a good one. Jonah Coleman just gets to the 5-yard line.
We got some.
And we got a late flag there, pushing. 2 more flags coming out in the end zone.
Yeah, and that's Omari Evans. He was blocking a UCLA defender all the way into the end zone. They got into it. And then somebody on UCLA side, it might have been Key Lawrence. He came over and gave it a late shove. And you hate to see this late in the game with so much frustrations from UCLA, and I'm sure the receiving core of UW trying to make up for the collision a couple snaps ago.
5 flags on one play. And here's where it all started. It's Evans and Clark.
Competitive on the edge, and it's here late at the end. You can't stand over somebody.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 5. Also, after the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 4. Those fouls offset, the down counts, second down. That is number 5 and number 4's first unsportsmanlike conduct fouls of the game.
Omari Evans for Washington, and the safety Key Lawrence right there.
Yeah, you haven't seen the frustration spill over at all for UCLA since Tim Skipper's been the interim head coach. And that was a concern. Coming in, no bowl eligibility as an option. And that's why he said, hey, can you just navigate adversity as a team? That's the task. They got to finish clean here in the fourth quarter.
Jonah Coleman is the tailback. He has 35 career touchdowns. Give it to him. Didn't quite get there. Got closer. Picks up 3.
This is the part of the tight red zone. You see Washington bringing in their tight ends, their big bodies. this is when Damon Williams and the lead run game really can show up.
Washington has had offensive games like this at home. 6 touchdown drives last week against Purdue. They had 7 in their last home win against Illinois. They've not had a performance like this on the road.
Yeah, and it was a big point of emphasis. And here comes an extra offensive lineman to the right of the screen.
Coleman, patience, little power. Gets down to the 1.
They brought in the freshman Champ Taulea as kind of a tight end, jumbo offensive lineman. And I'm curious to see what Jedd Fisch decides to do here.
So far, back-to-back gives to Coleman. We'll see how close he gets here, but 13 touchdowns coming into this game, most for any running back in the Big Ten. Maybe they're targeting him, getting him up to 14.
UCLA's got to get off the field.
Williams to Coleman, stood up. And the extra efforts. No signal yet. Looks like he did not get in. Talking about it.
The ruling on the field was the runner was down short of the goal line. Turnover on downs.
Didn't make it.
What a stop. I thought he got in from up here, but looked to be short. And how about the fight of these Bruins? Well, I'm sure we'll look at that one again.
Probably a handful of times.
The ruling on the field that the runner was down short of the goal line is under further review. After review, the runner had controlled the ball and had completely crossed the goal line. It is a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think that review took too long. Jonah Coleman was clearly in for Washington. That's his 14th rushing touchdown of the season. Missed the game last week, has played sparingly tonight, but did punch that one across. And Washington now gets above 40 points. 41-7 is their lead early here in this fourth quarter. Big Ten Saturday Nights is brought to you by Oral-B, the electric toothbrush that gives you a perfect clean. By Xfinity, be the best at watching sports. Stream smarter with Xfinity. And by Chewy. For holidays with pets, there's Chewy with everything. A lot of great looks at the Rose Bowl, the best college football venue in the world, and had 3 different homes here UCLA has at the Coliseum before the Rose Bowl, but they've been here for over 40 years. If you've been following the news, this is a giant story. Many believe UCLA is attempting to leave, would like to leave the Rose Bowl to play their home games at SoFi in downtown LA, or closer to downtown LA, closer to campus with a better chance to create revenue on game day. And the courts will decide if that actually happens. But man, oh man, this is a wonderful sight. It's college football heaven here, and at the very least, it would feel strange to not have the Rose Bowl fired up September, October, November, until we get to January 1st.
And I think just talking to fans and people as we came into the stadium today, or people down on the field, there's such nostalgia here. I mean, you know, you drove out here when you were 10 years old to see the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I've been coming to the Rose Bowl since 2003 on New Year's Day, coached in 4 of these in the regular season. You're right. It's kind of like a rite of passage that you hope to have as a player. And for UCLA players, this is all you know. So, look, life changes, sport changes. College football has changed dramatically in the last 6 years, let alone the last 6 months. So we'll see how this one shakes out, but it's definitely worthy of celebrating this beautiful venue.
Luke Duncan remains the quarterback, led a touchdown drive. And his first one, the Bruins get out across the 30-yard line. Basically, here's what's happening is that this is a long way from Westwood, where UCLA's campus is, 25 miles away. It's not easy to get here for the students. There are many who believe that UCLA's ability to make money on game day is is compromised, but there is a contract through 2044 with the city of Pasadena for UCLA to play their home games here. And as you can imagine, getting out of that contract to play football somewhere else is going to be a difficult thing. Could take some time, and we'll see where that goes. And that's Jalen Berger fighting hard there for some extra yards.
You know, we talked to Jerry Neuheisel about just this venue and everything it's meant to him. This is a young man who was born at the UCLA hospital on campus. Of course, his dad won a Rose Bowl MVP here as a player, was the head coach here. Jerry's was a player here, is obviously on the staff now. And he started to get emotional when just talking about the Rose Bowl. And I think also the potential finality of what's going on with this staff is UCLA, I'm sure, in the coming, week and a half or so, will likely name their next head coach. And you can just feel it. Anybody who's adorned these colors, so proud of this place. And they also understand that college football is continually ebbing and flowing. So we'll see how it shakes out. Follow all the legalese, I'm sure, in the coming months. But make no mistake about it, I don't think there's many college football fans in the world, Paul, that would say this is the mecca of college football. And I get that it's not going to be hosting the national championship every year. But, man, a lot of people can make an argument. I think not many would argue it if you said they should host the national championship here every single season.
I thought Tim Skipper summed it up well. He said, I've been here as a player way back in the day, been here as an opposing coach, been here as the interim head coach, and every time I pull up, it feels magical. I've been here a number of times myself, and the same feeling when you pull up and see it. Roebuck. Oh, he fumbled the ball. Scooped up. Touchdown, Bruins.
How about that?
Jameer Benjamin picked it up. Said, I'll take those 6 points.
Great hustle from Benjamin. Just trying to stay around the ball. This is one of those strained plays that Tim Skipper talked about. Kanye Clark knocks it out. Benjamin scoop and score. And this special teams, I'll tell you what, all season long they've made plays. Earlier this game they had one, didn't go their way. But more often than not, over the last month and a half, teams have showed up. They showed up in a big way right there.
So in one way, the Bruins and Huskies are even. They've each scored on a punt play gone, or a special teams play gone the wrong way. Fake field goal is what Alex McLaughlin turned into a touchdown for Washington, and Jameer Benjamin scoops up the fumbled punt. Desmond Roebuck is having quite a day as a receiver, but would like to forget that one as a returner. Jameer Benjamin will always remember. 27-point lead for Washington. Looks like Damon Williams is getting ready to go back in, and he has had an interesting night from start to finish.
Yeah, well, you look at how the game started. No Denzel Boston, no Raiden Vinesbright, not sure about Jonah Coleman, and he just missed on some throws early on that he's made the majority of this season. You know that's been a story on the road for this Washington team over the last 2 seasons. But in the second half, said, no, that's not me anymore. And you saw the growth on the road against this defense. And you saw it from under center, from the pocket, finding his playmakers down the field. And I think that's the story. These young wide receivers really elevate. We said it earlier. It's one thing to be the third receiver, the second receiver. But when 1 and 2 are out, and you got to be 1, and you're Desmond Roebuck, you're Amari Evans, you got to elevate. And I think in the second half we saw those two, Chris Lawson, all elevate without having their top 2 guys.
Yeah, Roebuck 5 catches, 79 yards. Chris Lawson had a massive catch inside the 10-yard line earlier. And they have been letting Damon, I say they, I mean Jed Fish calling plays, letting him throw with this lead here.
Yeah, well, look, I think time on task. It's only his 13th game, and we know what next week is. It's the rivalry game against the Oregon Ducks at home. So can you finish this thing off? And maybe there's little things, whether it's footwork, trust in the pocket. I just say this for Jed Fish, and he knows it more than all of us up here. Keep him protected. Make sure he doesn't take any unnecessary hits.
Gives to Muhammad a gash off the right side, slowed up for a moment, but in the end moves the chains. picks up 12. And it was really the UCLA game that was the catalyst for Damon Williams. Go back to last November. He came into a 1-point game, led him to 17 points, only missed on 1 pass. It's been his quarterback job ever since that night.
Yeah, and I think every, call it month, you've seen growth from him, whether it was last year from that moment to the bowl game when he played his best game of his freshman campaign.
Muhammad kicks it out this time and spins inside the 40.
And I'd say the same thing for this season. Take a look back to last year and Damon Williams. This was in this very game. To your point, it was a tight one. And they put him in. All of a sudden, he engineered a couple scores in the second half. And all of a sudden, it was a big win for UW. And they needed this win. 31-19. And Jed Fish said, look, it's a growth position. He knows it better than anybody. He's coached so many talented quarterbacks, all different shapes and sizes. He said Damon Williams is the most talented he's ever been at his age this past spring. And we're looking at this talent continue to take major steps.
And they give it to Harris around the right side. He's still rolling. Pardon me, that's Amari Evans with the end around. Former Penn Stater picks up another first down. And it wasn't like Damon came out of nowhere. He had played in every single game backing up Will Rogers. You could see how excited Jed Fish was about him. You could see the future was going to be his. You just didn't know when it was going to come.
Well, I think that's the part of Jed Fish, and that's why it's so attractive to go play for him at Washington, is that you know if you're a freshman, you're getting a chance. He plays so many young guys. Look at this offensive line with John Mills at right tackle. You've seen backs, you've seen wideouts. Last year, Damon Williams played in every game to make sure that he got the experience. Jed Fish does not want to live in the portal at the quarterback position. He wants to find it, identify it, and develop it.
Setting up deep drop. Plenty of time to survey, and plants it right on his top wideout tonight, Desmond Roebuck. Patience and then accuracy. Credit to the offensive line, too. Gain of 16.
Yeah, we talked about Jed Fish and the development of the quarterback position. You look at some of the notable names that he has coached, and none of them are anywhere near the athlete that Damon Williams Jr. is. Cam Newton, an athlete in his own right. Noah Fafita, an athlete in his own right, but mostly pocket passers. And that's where this offseason they really went to work. He and Jimmy Doherty, the offensive coordinator.
Desmond Roebuck finding another way to get him the ball.
Yeah, a little inside handoff. But he and Jimmy Doherty went to work and said, okay, let's revise our offense. Let's study some of these dual threat quarterbacks. Let's see what Lamar Jackson does and has success doing. Let's see if we can change our protections. Like he echoed with us earlier this week, he'll call plays at times knowing that there's natural running lanes, knowing that his quarterback can make him right. And I just love that he's trained from under center, because it just develops the timing mechanism in between your ears of when the rush is going to get there and find you, when to get rid of the ball.
We'll come back to that thought in a moment. Adam Muhammad flirting with a 100-yard game, which would be his first. And gets inside the 25, picks up a couple yards. But I find it so fun when we're out on this tour, we get to talk to the coaches. When the guys who are clearly confident, they know what they're doing, find a reason to go out and learn some more. And you mentioned the specific dual threat type of quarterback that Damon is. Okay, let's go out and watch film of other guys who can pass and run it really well. How can we be better with this guy? And you can just see he's enjoyed that learning.
Well, it's the best part of coaches who are really confident in their stuff, saying, hey, I love my scheme, but I'm not married to it. I'm married to the players that we have. And for Washington, we've seen it on both sides of the ball develop for Ryan Walters defensively mid-season, and, of course, Jed Fish with this man at quarterback.
Williams finds a tight end, first down, and then some. Decker DeGraff comes home to Los Angeles and puts 6 on the board.
Again, from under center for Damon Williams. Watch him as he sprints out after the play action. DeGraff is going to line up on the right as the tight end. He stock blocks and then just releases. Again, be boring as a quarterback. Check it down, find your playmaker, find the local star. And DeGraff does the rest, fired up, looking at the crowd. I bet he could spot some of the 100 or so fans from his community that are in attendance tonight.
Could probably hear them as well.
As he should. Celebrate, man.
Knows exactly where they are. He's having a couple of weeks for himself. Career best 91 receiving yards last week in the big win over Purdue. It comes back home. Gets into the end zone. Good effort to get there as well. The catch, yes, but he had to break some tackles. Nice job, 86. Huskies lead is now 48-14. Good look at some of the tailgates earlier here just outside of the Rose Bowl. Decker DeGraff, the tight end, the sophomore for Washington. His family is down in there. There they are. That's not just family, that's a lot of friends. Yep, number 86 is their guy. From San Dimas, about an hour away from Pasadena right here, and they loved the moment that just happened. Williams to DeGraff, touchdown Washington. Now, he's not smiling right now, but he had lots of smiles moments ago. And UCLA will begin on the 25-yard line. Let's bring in Caroline.
Well, Decker DeGraff grew up so close to the Rose Bowl. He told me he and his family have been looking forward to this game for a long time. As you mentioned, he has about 100 people in the stands for him tonight. That includes members of his family, his girlfriend's family, a lot of people from his high school, and even a group of local firefighters. Decker said, "I'm excited, but I think they're more excited." When I talked to him this week, it certainly has looked that way tonight.
I would think so. And then this was initially a commit to the Kalen DeBoer staff, and he kept that commit firm when Jed Fish came in.
Yeah, well, he just saw the track record of Jed Fish with tight ends and what they've done in his time when he was in Arizona. Tanner McLaughlin was the tight end there who constantly was a part of the pass game. And, you know, when you have an NFL background like Jed Fish does, you know that's going to be a huge part of every facet of your offense.
Luke Duncan to Mikey Matthews. That was a touchdown combination earlier in this half. Not so that time. -1. First down line is brought to you by T-Mobile.
I think a storyline coming out of this game to me is going to be this Washington defense. I mean, again, no one scored more than 25 points on them all season long. After the first drive, they made adjustments. I think good coaches make adjustments at halftime. Great coaches make them in-game. Now with the iPad, you can do it much more efficiently, and Ryan Walters has been doing it.
Duncan well protected. Good job digging that one out by Quasi Gilmer. First down UCLA. And, you know, Ryan Walters, you look at the Steve Belichick defense last year. He was the defensive coordinator for the Huskies, and now Ryan Walters in his first year. They've taken a noticeable step forward. Scoring defense, total defense, rushing yards. Great conversation with him this week. He was so candid. He said, about mid-season, this defense morphed. I changed what I normally do to fit what this defense does best. And watch this play here, but he really went into detail on all he had to change, and what a learning season this has been for him. That ball was batted and almost intercepted. But this is a guy who's his defense, he was the #1 defense in the nation when he was a coordinator at Illinois. So what he does works, but he really had to change it as we take a look here at the ball batted down by Ontario Thompson.
Yeah, another pass breakup by Ontario Thompson. I feel like he gets his hands on a ball every couple games. Jacob Manu almost comes up with a pick back in his home here in Southern California. But to your point, he was known as the guy with 5 defensive linemen often, playing a ton of man coverage, being really aggressive, and he adjusted. He said, no, we're going to play 40 linemen, we're going to have a nickel defender, we're going to play some more zone coverage, and they've had a lot of success doing that.
A nice catch there by Frias and a good cut upfield. Make third down a lot more manageable here.
And I think just in addition to that, and how many times have we heard it when head coaches are no longer head coaches, they go back to the coordinator position and where they made their name, they fall back in love with the game even more because they went from administrative duties, all the things that have happened in college football, Ryan Walters had to manage. He is no longer at Purdue. He gets the opportunity to head west. His family lives up in Seattle. He's absolutely loved that time there, and he should, because his defense has only gotten better as time has gone on. And he's got some freshmen. Now, they'll be tested next week against Dante Moore and this offense of the Oregon Ducks. But there's no reason to think that this defense shouldn't make plays once again.
See what they come up with here on 3rd down and 4. Duncan had it tipped one more time. Defensive line for the Huskies doing a nice job of getting those hands up.
That's one of those freshmen right there. Ryland Dillard Allen. I haven't said his name a ton tonight, but they've got some youth, right? The corner and Dylan Robinson starting tonight. And again, you just kind of project forward. Yep, there's Thompson again. And he's so impressive with his hands. And they got a hand fighting specialist, Ben Kramer. He's always working on the little things with guys with their hands. And Ontario Thompson, I think he's one of the most improved players on their defensive front this season.
Down 34 inside of 5 minutes. Why not go for it? Need 4 here to keep this one alive. Off the back foot, sends it down the sideline. Nowhere near the intended receiver, and that's a turnover on downs. And Ryan Walters' defense didn't give up a meaningful touchdown last week against Purdue, and you can kind of say the same thing about tonight. Pitched the shutout through the first half.
Yeah, frustrating night for Jerry Neuheisel there. Such an athletic, stout defense, and you saw them from the second drive on. There were so many bodies near the line of scrimmage, and then eventually so many in the lap of Nico Iamaleava, and they've got the athletes on the outside, and they've gloved up these receivers or gotten home throughout the majority of this game, and limited explosive plays for this UCLA offense with Nico, and of course they get the touchdown with Luke Duncan, but just not a lot going.
Quarterback change for the Huskies. That's Kai Horton, 6'4", 220 senior out of Texas. 4 seasons at Tulane. This is his first at Washington. Played a handful of snaps last week in the blowout of Purdue. Adam Muhammad. Do have a penalty marker down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 95. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And that goes against UCLA's Jalen Hargrove.
There's that left hand. Easy call. Is Adam Muhammad. Getting close to that 100-yard mark.
I've been saying that for a while.
Yeah,
This fourth quarter.
He's 3 away. I got a feeling they're trying to get it for him before they take him out.
Well, they got Jonah Coleman the touchdown earlier in this quarter. See if they can get Muhammad up over. Let's take a look at our Google search trends for tonight. Best college football stadium, and most people think of the Rose Bowl when that comes up. I know it's certainly the top of my list. The Huskies have enjoyed their time here. A little bit of a slow start, but they have been racing ever since. 49 points last week, now 48 tonight. Good patience there by Muhammad, and that'll do it. First time he's over 100 yards in his career. Sophomore out of Glendale, Arizona, gets 10.
Smiles for him, and smiles for this entire sideline. You know, we had a chance to talk to Jed Fish in pregame, and he loves the Rose Bowl. Spent time as the interim head coach here at UCLA, and he said this staff left a rose on every player's bed today prior to them coming to this game. Because, you know, he's a college football historian. He educates his team on all the places they go. Probably none as much as this historic grounds here in Pasadena.
Kai Horton under center. New ball carrier is Ryken Moon. You know the name. Former Husky Warren Moon, Pro Football Hall of Famer. That's his son. First carry tonight, gets no gain.
You know, in the Big Ten, you rarely get these types of games. Coming into this weekend, there were 24 one-score games in conference play. So when you get them, you have the opportunity to play some players that just wouldn't normally play. And Jed Fish knows how much it takes to get a team to galvanize, come together, and it's not just the starters, but it's the service team, and it's the backups. Nice to see some of those individuals getting in tonight.
That first down line is brought to you by T-Mobile. Play action for Horton, sets up. He's in trouble and goes down. Loss of 9 there. Cole Cogshell.
UCLA's got some young players as well. Defensively, Cogshell's one of them. Scott Taylor, Julius Juju Walls. So whoever comes in here next will have a foundation to build from.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes left in Pasadena. It has been all Huskies tonight. They lead by 34. It's that time of year, the coaching vacancies, the carousel that will be spinning soon. Top of mind, so these guys are all staying put. But then you get to the jobs that are open and start to speculate. One domino is down. James Franklin goes from Penn State to Virginia Tech, but look at these major jobs that are still open, at least for now. We wonder who will step into those pretty big brands there, as Washington's offense remains on the field for, as it relates to the UCLA job. Right now, interim head coach is Tim Skipper. Final game a week from today at the Coliseum against USC. What kind of timeline do you think UCLA is dealing with to make a move on their next head coach?
Well, I think first and foremost, you let the team stay as focused as possible on the game, the rivalry, the crosstown rivalry against the Trojans. The Bruins will get up for that. Not worried about that one iota. But a few days later is signing day. It's actually 11 days away, pending your time zone where you're watching this thing right now. It's that Wednesday of December 3rd. So I think on Sunday, you've got to name your coach, and you've got to hold a class together, a recruiting class together, try to see if you can flip some players, and then most importantly, a little incompletion there, but most importantly is you got to retain your roster, and that is sadly where this sport is. It's also how you can build a roster. That's the exciting part of it. You saw some of those coaches get extensions. We all know the story of Curt Cignetti. He goes to Indiana, he takes them from a place not many could have ever imagined, but a big part of it was the influx of portal players, guys that came with him from his previous stop. So pending where UCLA decides to go, to me, Sunday, you've got to be able to announce this thing. The challenge is all those openings you showcased, there's dominoes. And I'd imagine all of the candidates are waiting for dominoes to fall to then see where they can go.
UCLA runs it off the left side as we now get inside of 1 minute. Hey, next Sunday, that is coming right up on the East Coast. You're already 1 week away from next Sunday. They've got to have a name or two in mind that they're pretty close to.
Well, no doubt. This administration, they've kept it really tight to the vest, but knowing the group they put together to go make these hires, we see some flags, see some false starts here. UCLA was trying to go hurry up. But there's no doubt that this thing is far down the line with, I'm sure, multiple candidates. And I think UCLA in the Big Ten is an attractive job. Being here in LA.
Full start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And I think that's part of
This
it.
follow calls for a 10-second runoff. UCLA is now calling timeout to avoid that runoff. So please set the game clock to 31 seconds, please. 31.
I think a big part of this job for the candidates that I'm sure in final conversations is you're looking at Southern California, such a recruiting hotbed. And if you can build this thing, much like Jedd Fisch has built it in Seattle, through high school, and then its retention and supplementation through the transfer portal, I think you got a chance. And we'll see what they do. I can't wait. I'm anticipating it. There's a lot of names rumored for it, but we know that that's all it is rumor. So we'll see how this thing shakes out in a matter of, I'd imagine, a week.
See what happens in the next week to 10 days with the UCLA job. We know tonight they go down 48-14. This will be 4 consecutive losses for Tim Skipper and the Bruins. As for Jedd Fisch, 2-game win streak. They hammered Purdue last week. Similar score tonight, 48-14 the final, as the Huskies move to 8-3 on the season. You see Damon Williams, he was the main character tonight. He accounted for 4 touchdowns.
A dominant second half for the majority of the ball game. Washington was in control after that first drive. Once Nico Iamaleava was knocked out of this ball game, you could see Washington just take complete control. Damon Williams, what a complete game.
Let's go to Caroline Pineda with the winning head coach, Jedd Fisch.
Coach, you told us you wanted to see your young players settle in on the road. How did they do that today?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job of playing, playing good football, complementary football. We played a ton of young players, as we always do. and I thought they played a really good road game. Proud of our guys.
You've talked about the growth of your quarterback, Damon Williams. What did you see from him in that response after his first half interception?
Yeah, I think that he missed a couple plays early in the first half, and I thought he played an outstanding second half. He was a great leader in the locker room, and he was fired up.
When you think back on tonight and bringing this team into the Rose Bowl, what will you remember the most?
I'll remember that we got on the road, and we won by a bunch of points, and we played really well.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Paul?
Caroline, thank you. Coach Fish.